Okay, welcome everyone to second session of the City of Eyes, which hasn't really played into it yet, but we've got a few players from last week's party in today, and Rusty, welcome for joining us as a sixth player.
Thank you very much.
Welcome again, and what we did last week is we didn't get everyone to introduce their characters and give us the spiel and so on. They were introduced at the point of time that they entered, our roleplay lens. So what I might do is, we'll do the same for you when your character enters, and I'll just go a little bit over last week. The group of heroes, or at least highly experienced individuals, an illuminated spirit seer, a protector, which is like a abjurer, a specialist wizard, the hand of the queen, an archfey warlock, a monster hunter and a protector of the cycle, a fighter, I think, is that right, Ashtar? Straight up fighter and paladin. Yeah, so two fairly foreboding individuals have graciously accepted investigating this Duchess's missing daughter, Cecilia. More so because you'd also experienced a lot of abominations, monstrosities in this seaside city, and the divinations of the Tortle spirit seer, Duenti, and Cleon, the both members of the Illuminated, had seen portents of some sort of fairly significant threat to the city emanating from this region. And so you found yourself entering this the Crooked House and talking to the Duchess, who's been not bedridden but housebound for years, and she's given you free rein to investigate the house, looking for any clue of Cecilia. She has left and not returned, but she suggested you might search the house and see what you could find. There is a butler around abouts, Fest, who advised that there were some locked doors, but if you come to any doors that are locked, that are open, then you're free to go through searching. She said there's been vermin leaking in through the floorboards and somehow making their way into the house, and it's become so troublesome that she's pretty much stayed in the one room, and only Fest has been bringing her meals and so on. And the rain has been getting steadily heavier as time has progressed while you've been here. It wasn't quite bucketing down, but it was trickling on the way in. I think it was poor Riddle, the Tabaxi, who went into this lady's room of cats, and they all went berserk and attacked her.
Yeah.
So much so that you burnt one of your Warlock Dimension doors to just completely bug out, shut the door, and you could hear all these cats fighting on the other side of the door. You went upstairs and snooping around, one of the chests you pulled out from under a bed was a mimic, and while it was attacking Duenti, suddenly the hairs on the back of your neck prickled up, and this black ichor started to leak in through the walls, through the floors, and these acidic jelly-like things, black puddings. There was a huge fight, and what you've found is there's been a couple of fire spells, I think a fireball and some fire bolts, and they've been causing some like wild magic surges. The fire still goes off, but one of these attracted the attention of a school of wraiths, and so we had this epic battle last week that's only just finished. I can see Cleon's very badly injured, and some of you may have been more injured than is showing on screen here. This is because you've managed to take a short rest in this very badly battered bedroom of Cecilia's. You've had a bit of a snoop around and managed to find a secret door. Throughout the short rest, I think some of you may have... I think Ashtar, you've been healing up just magically. You just tend to grow back together. Have you applied that health yet to your...
Yeah.
Well, you're very
I
quiet.
have.
You're very quiet. I'll see if I can bump you up a bit on my end.
Alright, I can try to check my
It's
my
pretty
settings
good.
in Discord.
It's pretty good now. I've got it at 45%,
Okay.
up from...
Let me know.
You're more than the maximum. Okay, so you've applied your health. So you're sitting on 99, as far as I can see.
Yep.
And
That's correct.
all of you have had... You're really on edge here. There's like a mental anguish. Not anguish, I guess. Probably just a mental state from all this strangeness that you're experiencing. And I'm reflecting that in a token that's on your monitor. You can see it's all at 0, so you're all cool. Cleon, I can't see you in here yet. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, welcome. Okay. So you're at 6 health. What's all that about?
Yes. I went while I was knocked out.
That's crikey! That was the first big battle of the session.
Oh.
Now we have had a short rest, so if you wanted to spend any hit dice up to your total, you could.
Gotcha. I will do that now.
Okay. And who else? I think Joenti, you're on, looking pretty good.
Dated mine.
Ah, yeah, you're 131, still cool. But Riddle, you're a little bit down. If you wanted to spend any hit dice, you could. Otherwise, you might be cool sitting on that. Remember, you only get half those back when you're after a long rest. So
Yeah.
burn them all now.
I've used my hit dice.
Oh, have you really? Wow.
I used them end of last session.
Oh, okay.
I also used my head dice to get myself back up to 131.
Okay. All right. Very good. Now, I'm going to... let's see. This door opens. There's a bit of a tentative knock. Let's see. Here we go. And Fest is there. And he sort of looks in left and right, a bit bit hesitantly, and say, "Oh, you seem to have really searched this room. If you recall, a fireball, a lightning ball, and a thunderball all went off in this room." And
We were dealing with some
That was also
of
the
your,
shatter from me.
a shatter and a shatter. That's right. There's loads. I was a bit hellish.
Very
we were assisting with your pest problem.
Ah yes. Well, very good. I'm sure you would like to continue. You seem to have taken quite a while, but I forget my Fest voice. Forget what it was. He sort of eyes off over your shoulder and sees this staircase going up, but comes back, turns his attention back to you all, and says, "The Duchess, she would request your presence once again, and you would need to come down to her chambers." And he goes to turn and then takes 2 steps and then looks back over his shoulder to make sure that you're following. Were you following?
Riddle follows with a shrug.
Okay. I'm just going to capture you all and head back downstairs. Okay. Bear with me, I've got to paste you all in. You might appear all over the place here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Where is Fest? I can't even see him. Never mind. We don't need him. There he is. He's a bit of a lurch character, but not nowhere near as tall. And so he goes and opens the door, and I think Riddle, you're first up. Just heading through?
Yes. Wide berth to the other door.
Okay, yep. Oh yes, that's the cat room, isn't it? And the five
I'll
of
go
you...
in.
Okay, the 5 of you file in to the Will that be all, Your Grace? That's Fest. And she nods. She's got this cat on her lap. Looks like it's made of shadow. I think you've seen that before.
Yep.
Is it the
With
the same cat that we encountered?
Yeah. I'll just do a
One that liked riddles?
yes. Oh yeah, you'll be able to see that already. Okay. And seated across from the Duchess is another person. And Cor, would you be able to describe what do they see when they look you up and down?
A very tall, gaunt man who's completely hairless and has ashen grey skin. He's wearing a dark grey, featureless but tattered tabard over metal armour. And there is a shield and a very unusual mace resting nearby to the chair in which he sits. He otherwise has a small bag, but appears to have no other trinkets or adornments. He's got a very unusual visage, and when you catch his eyes, you see they're completely milky white. There are no pupils.
And
He turns his head as everyone enters, but makes no comment.
the Duchess gestures with one hand to you, Cor, and says, "May I introduce Sir Cor, who has been looking, apparently, for my dear Cecilia, and I suggested that a searcher alone, you share a common goal. I thought perhaps you might join forces, so to speak," and she sort of gives the, I don't know, little old lady heroic fist pump.
Sir Petrus stands and turns to address the group and say, "I would be most grateful for your assistance."
Riddle looks at the others. Couldn't hurt to have some extra help. You know, with all the rats that were upstairs.
You see a flicker of a frown pass across Sir Petrus's face. "Rats? We're here to deal with rats?"
Euphemism. Anyways, what can you do exactly?
I am a follower of the god of severing. I can keep you alive.
Right, he's in.
Yeah.
Handy trick.
Yeah. You pass the
How do you feel about cats?
you pass the interview with flying colours.
Your ladyship, how do we proceed?
She says, "Well, you are the experts in sleuthing. I expect. If you have not yet finished," and Fest says, "They were about to go upstairs, it seems." And she says, "Yes, by all means. Any place, explore around. Cecilia would have been all over the place. There is her room, of course. She also spent a lot of time by the graveside of my dear departed husbands, and you could visit there. But of course, she would have entered the city proper." And Fest gestures for you to come on through, and we shall leave you to your rest, Your Grace.
Sir Petrus joins the group, and I would like to know who is obviously injured.
You should see on the health bars.
I can see some shorter than others.
Yeah, so those are a percentage injured. So rather than hit points, I'm 36 out of 42 or whatever, you can use that as a gauge. If it goes halfway, they're pretty badly injured.
Okay.
And so you can see Ashtar. Well, I'm just eyeballing it myself here. Ashtar looks pretty badly injured. Riddle a bit, and Sir Lottle a bit of it, and Cleon a tinge.
I will call on my my god's power using channel divinity to share between them a number of hit points, which I'm just looking up.
Is this life cleric?
Yeah.
So
You go.
60 hit points for Ashtar and 20 for Riddle.
Okay. Ashtar, does 60 cap you out?
The channel divinity for a life cleric only works up to 50% of their health maximum.
Oh yes, you're quite correct.
But if you had aura of vitality at even for a third level slot, you could heal a huge amount. You could probably heal about 60 hit points.
Okay, we'll do that.
You just have to have it enabled under the optional features, because I think it's like a Tasha's spell for clerics, or rather,
Then I don't have that available.
and it is just an optional feature in the sense that it adds the spell that already exists to the cleric list, if that makes sense.
So it's
And from there, you'd be able to use it.
yeah, it's a tick box on the first page of your screen.
I will go back and make the
Have a look.
changes.
Okay.
Yep.
So while you're doing the requisite bookkeeping, let's see. I will cut. But Bear, we know you've done some healing.
Yes.
And spread that around some party members. Are you the rest of the party? Duenti, you're closest to the door. Are you following Fest back upstairs?
Before we depart,
Sorry. Yeah. Go, Sir Lotto. What's it?
Geraldo would look from one face to another along the party, and eventually he will speak up. I would like to clarify. Are those pests a common thing in the Wormblood dwellings?
Who is that addressed to, Sir Lotto?
Everyone.
Oh.
What was that again?
Everyone looks at each
Okay.
other.
Yeah.
Like, what's he on about?
So he's asking whether, having black puddings and wraiths and whatnot is a normal thing for a Wormblood's household.
Oh.
Depends on the household.
Yeah.
But strange like
entirely,
this.
entirely the wrong sort of pudding they
Yes.
have here.
It is delicious though. I have tasted actual black pudding.
Doesn't it rust metal?
Yes.
Well, if it's all normal, then
Okay. Well, you head back upstairs. I'm just going to put everyone back into Cecilia's room for now. But you did pass a door. Let's see. I'm just using Core there. So Core, you would have come up these stairs here just for your benefit to the north, and then headed south where there's two doors. The passage does continue on. And I think someone investigated further on and thought it was a bathroom or something further down the passage. You open the first door, went in, and this is where you find yourselves, into a fairly destroyed young lady's bedroom with some stairs going up past a secret door in the east wall.
Right. Is there any, I guess it's hard to tell because the whole room kind of got smashed up. Yeah, I think maybe we just have to follow the trail and investigate up these stairs, right?
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Ashtar saddles up and heads up the stairs, followed by everyone, presumably.
As we go, Riddle goes, "Oh, and Core, watch out for mimics."
Yes. There was a mimic, wasn't there?
Yes.
Thank you. I will.
I was eaten by one.
I'm wearing one right now.
Here we are.
I am a mimic.
Oh, you found my master plan.
Yeah. Wendy's also gonna head the stairs.
Okay, I'm just going to scoop up everyone. And you go up into the stairs, and let's see. This is a very narrow staircase. It looks like it's more like a secret passage between walls that hold up the roof, and so you're in the roof cavity in the top of the mansion now. They curve back on themselves a couple of times. Until it finally opens out into a room with a small door. You'd all have to sort of duck down a little bit to squeeze through. And I'll pop you in here. The roof above is angled, so you can tell that there's the peak of the roof above. And this small wretched room is barely big enough to stand upright because of the slope. Cobwebs are covering the beams above. The floor creaks ominously under your feet. It's probably maybe a little bit leaky, at least a little bit damp. But the walls have been pasted over with sheets of paper, and there's books covering the floor, all in different states of disrepair.
What kind of books?
They
Do I
look
recognise
like
the language?
They look like someone's gone to a library and been given 2 minutes to take what they wanted. So they're all over the place. Or they're a lifetime's collection, from young kids through to history books, through to theological ones, through to natural order ones. There's some that are just ledgers and records.
Okay.
Wendy's just gonna are all of them are ruined, torn apart into pieces, right? Or are they just scattered about?
There's a few that are a bit more intact.
Okay. And Wendy's just sort of gonna try and piece them together.
Okay. Can you roll a investigation for me? I'll just say you can have advantage because the whole party, I'm sure everyone's keen on having a bit of a snoop around.
Roll.
Okay.
Second one.
28 we've got there, and 25.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Investigator Rama. You it looks like the useful parts, someone has gone through and torn pages out of either the conclusions or some sort of scientific manual, has summary of results, that sort of thing.
Summary of results.
Yep. However, you do find a letter fragment. It looks like it's been torn in half.
It's on the fragment.
And its edges are singed as if someone tried to burn it. It looks to you like whatever this investigatory results, someone has tried to destroy them fairly hastily. They're piled together. There's burn marks here and there, and it's also a little bit wet.
The Petrus will stand to one side and survey the entire scene, looking to see if there's anything that's been stashed or tucked away or hidden, any nice hiding places or maybe hasty hiding places.
Okay. Let's have a look. Can you do a perception for me? Okay. So you're fairly confident that there aren't any secret caches or anything here and there. It looks like whatever was here has been piled all into this great heap of debris in the middle of the room.
Is there like other living type items in this pile, or is it just kind of books and documents?
It's all paper based.
Okay.
If that's what you mean.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
That's...
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flash this letter, this fragment, up on screen for you. It's not a handout. It's just going to float on top of the screen as like a map, but it's just a letter. Whoa. Okay.
We've been transported into a different world.
There we go. So, there we go. I'm scrolling it down a little bit. NKU for your kindness, full stop, of something. So will come. It sounds ever, then something, so exciting. You can probably read this yourself, but it doesn't make for good audio podcast. Other wouldn't. I'm just going to move Duenti away just for a moment. Duenti.
Also read it.
There we go. Other would never approve. Burr as something you say. Fortune favours the bold. Never heard of this inn that you mention. What a peculiar names. The something, spider, CING. It almost gives me goosebumps. Meet me there and something, talk about what we discussed. Now I can put that into a handout for you, just so that you've got it there for another time. That's a fragment that you find.
I sort of just hold it up, and
Okay.
Do we know of any inn that has something seeing spider as its name?
Can you do a history for me, Ashtar?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we'll do advantage for you.
Good thing there's an advantage.
Nice.
How did you go? Oh, I see.
I got a 1 and a 16.
I just cast my eye back over the chat. Okay, so the 16 of the party nutting their heads together. Nothing really springs to mind as a spider-like name. It wouldn't be something that you commonly associate with inns. And if you look in your journals, you should see a handout called Cecilia's Letter. Not necessarily from or to Cecilia, but it's from her secret chamber. Now everyone can go back in the room, so you can look at that at your leisure. Where you go? I'll hand the speaking stick over to you guys.
yeah, I'm just gonna sort of take take the letter fragment, sort of show it to the party.
Mm-hmm. Everyone can have a read, and it's written in common.
Is the handwriting similar to that of the letter from it's Cecilia's writing,
No,
isn't it?
no, it's different handwriting, so you can clearly see that it's different to your invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the invitation.
The edges
The
of the letter
invitation has a more of a...
Yeah, the edges of the letter are singed. It looks as if someone might have tried to burn it. It's half burnt away.
Oh, this came from. Must have gone to inn called the Spider. Wait.
Sir Petrus will look around and see if the butler is nearby. Fest.
He's not nearby, but he headed downstairs. When you went upstairs, and he sort of ushered you back to the circular staircase that goes up, he said to you, I'll be in the basement should you need me, and then headed downstairs. And at this point you notice the light coming through the window looks seems to get visibly weaker, and it's not getting close to sundown or anything.
Stormy weather, huh? So, what you all think?
Where to?
We go find this inn, right?
What is this place? The Dancing Spider? Has anyone heard of such a place?
No, dancing spider. That's what I was thinking, something like that.
I can't tell if those are two dots or those are. That is a weird letter. It could be both.
Maybe she was involved in something herself.
Yes, I don't know that she was necessarily actually kidnapped so much as perhaps run away. Either way, I think this is indeed, and we should probably try to find. I mean, we could ask around for the dancing, well, for the something spider.
I'd look.
Someone find a book or some writing in this room, like in the cabinet.
I think I found something here. I do not remember what it was. I remember searching the desk and.
In Cecilia's room?
There was a riddle.
Yeah, the riddle.
Yeah, there was some strange thing, but it wasn't like.
Perhaps we could
Very clear
compare
what
the
it was.
writing, the handwriting on between these two.
Okay. The
Oh, that's a good
yeah,
point.
the scrap of parchment with a riddle scrawled onto it. It said, "The last in her, and place it first. The last in first,
Yes.
place it last. In between, it's always even. Calling forth a face from the past." Core, you haven't been in here yet. You can have an investigation check for snooping a bit. This is when you're coming through the room.
Right. Not my strongest suit.
No. Hey! Busting out the 4. No, you don't spot anything untoward. I'll paste this poem, though, in the chat for you.
Yeah, that's good.
Handwriting similar.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote this letter also wrote this riddle.
Has this riddle been solved, this poem?
No.
Yeah, we got no idea.
Yeah.
I should speak for myself. I've
Yeah.
got no idea.
We have no
I
idea.
can only really.
No.
At most, I can
Yeah.
think of time travel and also dead stuff, which is my expertise. So.
We should ask the Cheshire Cat. It asks for riddles.
It does like riddles.
Well, you saw the Cheshire Cat down with the Duchess.
Yeah, it slipped our minds.
We could also ask her while we're, down that way, whether she knows of an inn of a particular name with spider in it.
Did you want to head downstairs in that case?
Yes, I think we should.
Okay.
I'm all for the director. Just ask questions and get going.
All right. We,
Where
Perhaps
was
not
it?
as inclusive.
Oh,
as
Yeah.
found.
okay, you head back to the Duchess, and she still has the cat on her lap.
On the way through, I show Core the desk where the riddle was found.
Ah,
Yeah,
thank
okay.
you.
Like elbow, like in a suggestive way, the cat girl riddle, and be like, "Hey, I reckon you should give the riddle. Talk to the cat." Like I'm just like got this ridiculous grin as if like I've made some really clever joke.
I'm just
But
gonna
it's
hand the
lame.
riddle to the cat.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably the best approach.
Um, uh, just and just pull out the piece of paper where I found
Okay.
the riddle was on, and just sort of
Okay.
show them.
All right.
You either of you recognize what this means?
No, it's not a letter that I've seen. It looks like Cecilia's writing. What could it mean, do you think?
Do you know the place, madam? The inn?
No, there is an inn, but it's on the other side of the city.
Do you know its
What's
name?
the name?
And the cat looks up and smiles this smile that's a little bit too wide for its face and says, "Why, it's Cicero's bar." And Riddle,
You know,
were you showing this riddle to the cat?
I was planning on kind of sitting next to it, so I'm down to like
I-
full on the floor, cross-legged,
Okay.
and I go, "Master Cat, I have a riddle, and bet you can't solve it."
Okay, it starts licking itself and completely ignoring you, but you can tell its ear is pointed in your direction. It's trying to be nonchalant.
Although, if you can't get it, I understand. Not all minds are as great as mine.
let's not antagonize the cat.
Its tail lashes left and right a couple of times.
And I'll read it, the riddle.
The eyes widen and it looks around quickly at you. And says, "Check the drawer where you found it." And then,
course.
and, then
That's not at all ominous.
and then it grins and looks very smug with itself, as if it's bested you.
Took you a bit long to
That's-
figure that one out, Master Cat. And then
It licks its
I'm
own
gonna-
ear.
I get up very nonchalant. The cat was smart enough to figure it out.
Okay.
The game's done. And I'm just going to start wandering up to the room and checking the desk.
Okay. So while everyone's finishing their chats with the Duchess, Riddle, you head upstairs. And
Check
having
for
a-
mimics.
Yeah, check for mimics. Check the bottom drawer, and where the Cheshire Cat mentioned, you do find a little bit of a press panel, and a panel springs open, and in there's a tiny compartment with a small painted portrait of a beautiful young woman in a white gown. Something you might have in a
wait.
locket or something like that.
I'm going to pocket it and ring it down, and I'd like to show the party after they've left the lady's presence.
Okay.
I was gonna ask the cat something.
Okay.
Which cat?
The one cat,
The walking one.
and no, the one on the Duchess's
Yes,
lap,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm just gonna sort of sit down. We seem to know a lot about things.
Yeah, it sort of again ignores you and says, I know, and talks and turns to you and says, "I know a lot about lots of things."
You know of any place called the Spider? Or anything that includes
The
that?
spider.
That's
When you say, do you know anything about the spider? It looks up in the sky and out the window.
follow its sight.
Okay.
I'm in its gaze.
And it says, he watches from above.
Is this an animism bullshit or?
And almost looks a little bit fearful.
Probably not the inn that we're looking for, though. Right?
No, you didn't say in, and you didn't say dancing. You just said the spider, and that's the reaction
Said
you
this.
got.
I sort of said this, like any place called the Spider.
Right. Oh, a place. There is a place, I think, called the Dancing Spider. Let's have a look. The cat says, the dancing spider will find you soon enough.
Everything that comes out of your mouth is extremely ominous, and I just walk away.
Okay. And with a couple of pats from the Duchess, the cat sort of fades into etherealness and is gone in a few moments. Duchess says, clears her voice. So, where to next? What's your plans?
I'm thinking of continuing this investigation of the house. Or if you all want, we could go to that inn, wherever it may be.
I mean, we could brave the cats again.
Why?
I'll just stand at the back.
Why would you do that?
Well, I still have some energy for Shatter, but I
say
don't
go
think we
get a
need.
drink.
I don't think we need to murder cats, do we?
No, I'm not hungry yet. I just suggest we investigate further. There's so much space we haven't seen.
That I agree.
You're referring to the rest of the house?
Yep. For all we know, the girl might be just hiding here.
Yeah, I don't know that she would burn so much of her stuff if she was hiding somewhere here. I mean, it
What
may
I
not be
understand, females of warm bloods are not the most rational. Sorry for that.
No
Just
one's-
playing character.
You're a lizard person.
Yeah.
However, it does not give you the excuse to be misogynistic.
Um,
So what?
you hear this voice from
Thank-
behind you. Here, puss, 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 puss. And you see the Duchess pursing her thin lips, and you hear this meow, and these couple of cats come to the doorway, and they've got their tails poking straight up in the air, and they sort of come trotting over to the Duchess, and followed by this stream of other ones. More and more cats come streaming in until the place is just full of them. There must be hundreds.
I think it's time to go.
I think I
What
should have
beautiful
realized
cats
that
you
the
have,
Duchess
my
was a
lady.
cat lady.
I think that was established last session.
I didn't
There was a whole
realize
room
the
dedicated-
implications of having too many cats in the house.
And yet there's still vermin. Alright.
And all of the
leaving?
cats just sit and watch you.
Ready?
Shall we go check that other room now? It's getting a bit crowded in this one.
Very well.
Okay. You move across.
Riddle is sidestepping Blake.
All right. You move across. Let's see. Dynamic lighting. Okay, I'll just move the door for you. And open the other door. It's the one that you slammed shut before. You can make your way through. And you find yourselves once again in a very catty smelling, opulent
Yeah, must
chamber.
stink in here.
Yes, it does.
Now that there are no cats there, though, maybe we can have a little look around. Not me.
Okay, you're in some sort of.
Someone else can do it.
It's like a
Maybe a little box.
sitting room.
Yeah.
There's scattered cushions and chairs littering the floor, lamps shedding a low light through the area. Most noticeably the room. Yep. There's the cat smell. There's still a couple of cats here asleep.
They missed the memo.
Yep. There's a door on the opposite wall.
While we're in here, I'm gonna be like, everyone, look! I popped upstairs and found this in the drawers.
Ah, yes. So you've got a painted portrait.
Is the portrait recognizable?
No. Oh, it's clearly painted to be a particular person. It's not just a caricature or something.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in Cecilia's room there was a big portrait on the wall of someone who looked like the Duchess but younger.
Yes.
Is it the same as the picture?
No, it's a different person.
Okay.
Well, White Lady is a bad omen. I don't mean that way.
Ashtar, I see you over on the other side there, where there's like a half circle inscribed on the ground.
Is it like a
Yeah.
fireplace?
No, it's a big door.
Okay.
Is this like these symbols or something? Hey, magic guy. What's your name again?
Cleon.
Leon.
We have several magic guys.
Yes.
Leon. You're still in. Yeah, hey, is this magic stuff? I don't really know how to read magic stuff. I mean, I've seen it sort of be used by other people, but. Is
Can
this
I do a
important?
detect magic ritual or arcana
Yeah,
check?
I'll do your arcana first. That's the quickest of the two.
I put my hand on the door as if to open it. But no, I'll wait.
Yep. Arcana, natural 1.
Wow, so that's an 11. I had a plus 10.
You don't recognise any of these symbols.
Riddle's like, I
Alright,
don't.
Again, I'm just gonna approach and push Cleon aside and take a look myself.
Is that Juenti? Juenti, you can have an
Yeah.
arcana as well.
Yeah.
Just don't trust him.
See how well I do. 6, 10, 13.
13.
Barely better.
Okay. So you're fairly confident that they are some sort of arcane protection symbols,
Mm.
but they've long ago lost their power.
Great, so I can open this? And I open the door.
All
We're all
right.
dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can convey that information.
You open the door. It takes quite a bit of a heave to do it. And there is a room with some chests.
Hmm.
Mimic chests?
First
I
things
think
first,
each of them
Eldritch
have
Blast
four.
on all 3 of those chests.
Yeah.
I have learned my lesson. Is there a roll?
Let's see. Yeah, roll to hit.
So 3,
Stand back then if I see magic happening.
23 at first.
Okay, you hit, and it does flex and turn into a mimic.
Oh, yay. And then in the middle, 18.
Is this a different firebolt. Oh, this is. Oh, yeah. I see. You do three
Yeah, yeah,
eldritch,
3.
three eldritch blasts, one on each. Okay, so
Yes,
pop, pop, pop.
1 on each.
Okay, your 3 eldritch blasts each reveal each of these chests to be a mimic, and I'm
You
I
gonna.
could have just triggered one at a time.
And
Let
I'm
me-
gonna,
I'm gonna roll.
I'm gonna assume that between the lot of you, you destroy them from a distance. They don't really
Alright.
have much of a means to attack at range, so I won't roll out the combat. We don't need half an hour of you guys killing 3 mimics.
But I was thinking about using firebolt.
Can't wait to get taken over by 6 wraiths again.
Yeah. You're all just
Alright, so I'll head in.
okay.
If I as soon as the 3 are smashed up,
Okay.
I have a little look around, rummage through the ashes of our beautiful mimic.
The three mimics are the entire chest. So there's, and there's nothing else. It looks like a little, safe house, but there's no other treasure in the room.
They're
Weird.
just guts.
Yeah, just guts, mimic
Like-
guts.
Hmm.
Why would you hide mimics behind protection seals?
Why are there wraiths in this house?
Why does
Magic.
the woman have so many cats?
Well, that's due to loneliness. But this, I don't think this one is.
You don't. Yeah, these aren't pets, right?
If they are, we are in for a legal case.
So yeah, just like squishing around with my foot and boot,
Okay.
poke a toe. There's nothing in the gut. Nothing.
No, nothing in the guts. You can roll a. Let's see.
A mimic that's edible.
Well, everything's edible.
Depends on.
Right,
how
but I'm
brave you are.
asking in the sense of like, could you make a dish out of it?
Poison is edible.
That's ingestible.
Yeah.
Depends on if you want to live.
Okay. Yeah, can you roll an investigation, Ashtar? And Duenti, you're in there too, from the sounds of it, if you're investigating the edibleness of guts.
Yeah.
I'll get
Why
both
would
of
That'd
you
be
to
a
it.
Eating. I can't roll this.
Oh, you can give advantage to Duenti if you want. Oh, no, you got it. So 14.
Rerolled it.
You get Ashtar, you creak around the place, and it looks like the floorboards underneath the middle chest, the middle mimic, creak more than
Yeah.
the rest of the floor.
I'll give it a bit more of a bounce, and then maybe see if I can pull up a floorboard, or if there's like a little gap where something's like hidden
There's
between
no-
the boards.
There's no lever or anything, but there's a few sort of cut marks or gratings between the floorboards. Look like something's levered them up in the past.
So like a little bit of loose boards or something.
Like a Like a
Use
crowbar
my-
or a
use-
knife.
Can I use my like throwing hand axe
Yeah,
to try and like
yeah.
lever these boards?
Okay, so you get the blade in and tap
Pull
it
that
in, then push, and you pop open one of the floorboards, and you can see there indeed is an area underneath.
At that exact moment, Riddle walks up with an actual crowbar.
Okay.
Were you looking for one of these?
Oh, meh. This one does both jobs.
Okay. I stick it back in my pack.
Okay.
How big is
Could
this
use the
little
crowbar
cavity?
though for later.
Good to know that you've got it though.
Okay. You
I'll,
pull out
Put that away in my memory.
you pull out a sack that goes chink chink.
Like gold.
Reach in. There's a potion inside as well.
It's a baby mimic.
Yeah.
Drink the potion. Drink the mimic.
Speaking of which, I'm actually
okay.
gonna check the edibility of the guts.
Okay. You can
Oh yeah.
do some
Forgot about
sushi.
that.
Yeah, is it like? You want to make an investigation check? Or...
Looks a little bit like octopus to you, like raw octopus. It's rubbery.
Oh, and well, I know what I'm having for supper,
Okay.
and I've packed some stuff in.
Okay, so you take some fillets of mimic. Ashtar, you've got a sack, and you open it up, and it's platinum. 1,000 platinum.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Neat.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to keep the sack, but to like have the sack separate to my own stash of money, so that
Okay. There's also a smallish emerald in the shape of a heart, which seems to glow from within. Oh, sorry, not
Straight up
green.
robbing the lady.
It's amber. Sorry. Go, Solitary.
I'm just asking if we're straight up robbing the lady that employed us.
Ah.
Oh wait, you said that like it's a bad thing.
If she's going to leave her chest behind a locked door underneath the floorboards, she deserves to be robbed.
They said we could investigate any rooms that were open.
I mean, it
No,
was
we're
out
just
for everybody to
investigating
find.
the sack.
Yeah, it was out for anybody to find.
Look, if she wants us to find her, I don't remember.
Also, I like to do a
niece.
little crime on the side.
Look, yeah. This could be clues.
Yes, clues to our bank account.
Where to from here?
Okay. So I'll just write this down before I forget.
I'll put,
Amber, you
it,
said
I'll
no.
put it in chat too. 1,000
Oh, thank you.
PP.
We'll buy some cat food for her.
1 glowing amber gem. 1 potion.
Can I grab
is
the
the
gem and throw it to Cleon?
Cleon?
What's the
And
question?
just
Sorry.
say, I throw the gem to you and just say, I think you can identify that, magic boy.
I require 10 minutes of uninterrupted ritual time.
I don't think you're getting that in this house. There are cats. We've established. Maybe later. You know.
It probably takes 10 minutes for you to search a room, so you could be sitting on the chair doing it if you want.
Yeah, he'll do detect magic on it then.
Okay. It does radiate magic.
Any school in particular?
I'm not sure. I'd have to have a bit of a squiz, but I'll get back to you on it.
Sure.
Do you want to start ritual casting identify in case?
I don't have it.
Oh, don't you? Okay. All right. Ashtar, Durenti, are you coming out?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Can I check the hole? Where they basically crowbarred the plank out of?
Yeah, sure.
Is it like deep, or is it just like a shallow? Is it
No,
just
it's
shallow?
fairly shallow.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
only had 10 pounds of coin in there, so it's not a huge.
I thought that would have been another secret entrance. Never mind.
Yep.
And I'd move out the door.
Okay. Where to from here, people? Core, you're at the back there. So as far as leading on,
Yes, I would like to move the curtains to one side and look out that window.
okay, you have a look, and it certainly does seem that the ambient light is a little bit off. It's
Can I judge why that is? Is it just the weather, or is there something else happening here?
It looks to you like there's just less ambient light than there was, but there's not more clouds.
And what time of day is it?
You came here at the start of the day, so it would be before midday.
Hmm. And can I see anything in the heavens? Anything unusual?
Yeah, completely grey though, big thunderheads.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll lead the way out to the hallway.
Okay. Rest of you follow, I guess, and
Yep.
There's only really one door apart from the staircase you've already been up. There's one door further up to your right.
I don't think we've gone down yet, have we? Gone down the other
That's where the
staircase.
cat was, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have. That's right. That was a kitchen. No, that was a library, I think.
Yep.
That
Library.
was a like children's library kind
Yes.
of. Well, a library with kids' books.
There is also a back door that leads outside.
By the look of it, with this one here, it's like my first necromancy.
Yeah.
Yes, necromancer for dummies.
Yeah, exactly. Introduction. Nice.
Did the dance, I did the chant, and much to my surprise.
So did we? There are 2 stairs. Did we go to the one on the left?
The one that goes down to Festy's room.
Yeah, where he was in the basement.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think we checked that one out yet.
Okay.
So,
So Sir Lottel and Ashtar head down the stairs.
I will follow.
Okay.
same as in me.
We should all stay together.
I presume everyone else is going to come as well, and there's a couple of people on the stairway behind you. Whoops, there we go. So Festy's in there, sitting on his chair. There's a large table with a stove, and it looks like it's made it's been fashioned as a kitchen. It absolutely reeks in here. The iron stove and sideboard have been stashed, but the floor is just covered in offal, rotten food. He's it's as if he's an ultimate hoarder. Never throws anything out just in case. And he's looking at you he's looking at you a little bit warily. He says, "Welcome to my humble abode."
Humble is certainly a word.
Is this creature human?
He looks it, yeah.
Does he breathe?
He looks to be breathing.
Okay. Sir Petrus will just survey the space and keep his eyes returning to the butler.
Okay. And he watches you and says, "You may look about if you wish."
So I'm just gonna ask first. When did you last see Cecilia?
Oh. Maybe a week ago or so, as the Duchess says.
And where did you see her?
She had a visitor. A woman came a few weeks ago. Cecilia, poor girl, she seemed troubled.
Pull out the portrait that Riddle gave.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna, her?
That is Cecilia.
That's a Cecilia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So you've now got a photo to flash around.
We know what she looks like at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he seems to be genuinely sad that she's missing.
Best, do you know where this portrait came from? This locket?
He says, "No, we haven't seen that painting before.
And the locket?
No."
Hmm. And where do you sleep?
"I sleep here." And he gestures to the corner of the offal-strewn room. There's a few sacks on the ground.
See.
The woman have any distinctive features? Anything that marks her differently?
Cecilia?
No, the woman that
Oh,
the woman that
friend, the
approached
one-
Cecilia.
ah.
Yeah.
She was old as time, and had wild hair.
What?
Haggish, would you say?
Well, senior. But spry, for one so
Was she-
ancient.
Was she human, Fest?
You keep asking about if people are human.
Well, you haven't answered my question.
I guess
You are humanocentric, core.
you should be careful in this place.
Why is that? Fest? Are you threatening?
There's one rule. Only one law. And he sort of looks a little bit worried, maybe for himself.
Tell me, Fest.
Can you roll a persuasion for me?
Is the
While
law
that's happening,
don't cast a
illegal.
fire spell?
Yeah.
How's a 24 suit?
Oh my god, natural
Let's
20.
go.
Okay. Okay, he warms to you and says, "There's one law. If you talk about it, it will come and kill you."
You mean the spider?
And
It's the
he looks like he's not really wanting to say anything else.
Are there any occult sort of symbols around in here or on him?
No, this just looks like a absolute hovel. There's no sign of literacy.
Yeah, I just thought maybe there'd be like a crude symbol on
Yeah,
him or
his best claim to fame is the drink that he's drinking, which looks like he brews himself.
pretty sure I don't want to try that. Cool.
There also
So, to the tavern, everyone.
He says to you, it was Core, wasn't it, that got him on side?
Yes.
He says, the streets move. If you're going to Cicero's, I would take the ferry.
Thank you, Fest. I will take your advice.
Okay.
Who holds the locket currently?
I think that's still, was it Quill that
Yeah,
you
I don't
showed?
think Riddle explicitly gave it to me, but I showed it.
Yeah.
I would like to take the locket and ask the lady of the house if she has seen it before.
Okay. You go up to her. We'll just fast travel back and forwards. I won't keep flipping about. We don't need to have a map for this. And she says, "Oh, my dear Cecilia, I haven't seen that in a long time. I thought it was lost."
Can you perhaps come up with an idea why it was hidden, concealed?
Oh, I couldn't say.
I think, if I'm correct, Riddle, it was found in Cecilia's room?
Yeah.
It was. In a false bottom drawer.
Hmm.
And how did the cat know to find it there?
I knew to find it there, I just wanted to see the cat knew the riddle.
Well, sure. Well, how did you know then?
The
I'm not
riddle,
the smartest
obviously.
character.
Just keep digging, Riddle.
It's what I'm good at.
Okay.
A bit of a random question, but is the servant, Petrus, could he be described as a gaunt?
Oh, what? Sorry.
As a gaunt silhouette?
Gaunt?
Gaunt. I don't know how to pronounce the word. Gaunt.
It's gaunt. As far as I'm aware, anyway.
So the cashier card, the first time you mentioned, he gave us an advice that the gaunt, the wet, may be your only friend.
Oh, gaunt.
Gaunt. Yeah.
Gaunt. Gaunt meaning slender.
Yeah. So is that a word you would use to describe the servant?
Yeah, he is. Remember, he's got a round belly though.
Okay, then no.
Yeah.
He's a bit like the guy from Minions.
Which guy?
The main one with the skinny legs and arms and round body.
Stripy shirt.
Yeah.
Or scarf.
Can't believe
I don't
Gru is in this D&D campaign.
Cameoing as a butler to a duchess in Creepy House.
It was either Gru or Victor.
Yeah, screw.
Both are funny.
Okay,
The picture.
where to from here, folks?
So
I feel like there are a
gonna
couple
head to
of
the
rooms.
end.
There were like a couple of rooms upstairs that we haven't checked. If you would like to.
Oh yeah, there were. Yeah, check that.
Upstairs.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Away.
Yes, okay. I can... so Lottle, you're right there to open another door for us all.
I think that's just for the corridor.
Yes, there was a door directly opposite the one that you've opened.
I don't see anything. It's just dark. Oh,
Is that-
there we go.
Is that because you're needing a light source?
I think so. Lizards don't have dark vision.
Do you want to light yourself up a torch, a lantern of some sort?
Sure, I guess. Yeah. Or maybe I can grab a candle from the
Okay.
table or something.
Can you see now?
Yep. Actually,
I
no.
could also pull out. I could also pull out my drift globe.
Yeah, so I see like a circle of light, but it doesn't really reveal the darkness.
No,
Oh,
I'm getting rid of that. That was a mistake. What I've done is I've given you an aura rather than lights. So I'm just going to get rid of that. It should be emanating light now, though.
Yep, it works.
Great. So that's the simulating a torch.
I'm also gonna bring out my drift globe
Okay.
and cast light
Okay.
on
And
it from it.
Drift globe.
Yeah.
What's the... Oh, yeah,
Effectively,
yeah, I've already got it. 20 and 20, I've got it.
Yeah.
So your token already is assumed to have the drift
Oh, right.
globe following you around.
Okay.
Which is probably why you
Alright.
can see. So Lottle and Claw, you are in the room. This looks like some sort of... It's almost empty, apart from a lonely wardrobe. There's a threadbare rug in the centre of the room. Wardrobe is painted with a colourful picture of a large cat with a mane. Closer inspection reveals the lion is standing on the graphically illustrated corpses of 4 young men and women.
People. Oh, it's great. That's.
I heard a story about 4 kids and a lion once, but very different ending.
Yeah. It
Good old Tabaxi
looks
Kyle.
like the lion has just mauled these kids.
Yep, that looks about right.
Where is it exactly?
I
On the
guess
desk?
It's this wardrobe to the far end.
Ah.
could I have
So,
a peek
Luddle, I
inside?
dare you to touch it.
Yeah,
Enter
that's
the
exactly what
magic
I'm gonna
land of
So-
getting mauled by
do.
a
I
lion.
touch it.
Okay, you touch it.
Yeah, I touch it.
Ooh, okay. As you do, the wardrobe roars like a lion. You hear this roar, and you're sort of enough to, quite. A lion's roar is pretty significant.
Mhm.
And it just does a single roar. That's it.
Rather disappointing.
and if I could have a little peruse of the contents.
Yep, you open it up and it's empty.
Yeah, that looks like a dead end.
Okay.
Riddle, would you care to inspect the wardrobe and see that there are no secret panels?
I will. Now that I know it's not a mimic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, doing a search. So we'll do perception for this. Trying to find something specific rather than figuring out.
Nice.
23 perception.
Okay, you don't find any secret doors or passages. No frozen wastelands. No Mr. Tumnus. Nothing.
Fur jackets.
No fur coats to walk backwards through.
And I move the wardrobe away from the wall.
Yeah, you can shove it, give it a bit of a shunt. You're strong enough for that. There's nothing.
Riddle will help.
Nothing concealed behind it either.
It all helps by standing on top of it at the time.
Yeah.
Such a cat.
Are you knocking stuff off, Riddle?
Absolutely. Is there any other way to help?
Okay. You're making it lighter by knocking stuff off the top. All right.
While sitting on top. Absolutely.
Okay. But no, you've searched this room thoroughly. I'll assume you all have. It seems to be a fairly empty room.
Can I look under the rug?
Yes, the rug, although it does seem old and threadbare, even the tatty bits seem quite strongly made. It's
Really
large.
ties the room together.
Yeah. For all of you with OCD, it's not really lined up with the walls.
Yeah, come to think of it, the walls aren't really lined up either.
This crooked house is well named. Nothing is in 90 degrees to anything.
And there's nothing underneath the rug?
No.
Third would like to have a look outside the window.
Okay, same. Darker skies than you were expecting to see.
Does it look like it's the same scenery out of every window, or does it like change appropriately?
It changes, but it looks like let's see. Just one sec. Just get it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up. Yeah. I'm just getting a request for a phone for an audiobook for one of the kids. Sorry. When you look out of the window, and you look at the north, and then you look out of the other window in the south window around to like this, it's as if the different rooms have different orientations to where they should. It's not always the same, but it's as if you're getting twisted and turned just by going through a door.
Okay.
If that makes sense, what I was.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Wendy's just sort of going to continue down the hall.
Okay. You continue down, Duenti. Open up the door, the last door, in fact.
Oh, great.
What?
And I'm in the void.
Yeah, you were in the void there for a moment. There we go. I'm just going to open the door for everyone else.
Alright.
Is that a bathtub?
It is a bathtub. Let's have a look.
Is there residual blood in it?
What does the bath smell like?
The bathroom is leaking and decrepit. There's water dripping
rest
from
of the house.
faucets, puddles on the floor. Looks like it's needed to have the taps and things replaced a long time ago, and has been poorly not maintained. The bathtub provides an ironic centerpiece for something as a room is so depressingly filthy, and
But What's the water looking like?
Bit of a grey sort of algae scum.
Hmm. Can I just sort of look around for uh, any like compartments, any passages, anything?
Okay. Can you do an investigation for me?
Yep. $17.
Okay, having a snoop around, you and you're checking out the taps and behind the faucet and things, and you hear a bit of a like a glugging and a tapping that you sometimes hear with tap work, old tap work. But the thing is, you haven't actually done anything to make any change. It's independent movement.
It's just creaky taps.
Yes.
Okay. Well, but this is a stinky bathroom.
Yeah.
No toilet. Where do people? Actually, wait. Now, why is there no toilet?
Commonly that
Wait,
would
do
be.
houses?
Commonly that might be some sort of outhouse. You haven't been outside.
Yeah, I forget.
That's the windows.
Yeah.
Forget there were no indoor plumbings.
Riddle sticks her head in, not even actually going in the room, going, someone really needs to teach Fest how to clean.
All right, Cleon, where to from here? You're at the front, apparently, it seems.
Oh no, I just hadn't moved him earlier. The wizard will definitely not be taking point when there's tanks in the party.
All right. Ashtar.
Following right behind Ashtar.
Okay. I'm going to move us straight back to the next map then, because there's nowhere else up this top floor.
Yep.
You head back down.
Yeah.
Shall we leave and find a ferry?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've kind of looked around enough, haven't we? Is
Okay.
there anything else that you want to check first?
You've been roughly thorough.
I mean, at the state of this place, it's so luxurious and clean, I can't see why anyone would run away.
All right, I'll just collect everyone together.
Does everyone have pennies? Whoa, what was that?
There's also like a room we didn't. Well, not a room, but like a door to the outside.
Did you want to head out the back, or do you want to head out into the city proper?
Is there like an outback, like perhaps like a courtyard type thing? Is
Yeah.
that what? Yeah, okay. I mean, it makes sense, right? We've found hidden stuff before and hastily, like evidence of hasty departure and stuff. So maybe there's
Okay.
people when they're trying to sneak away tend to use back doors, right? Not just go out front.
You head out the back, and you go past from the very back door. There's a small allotment has been tended outside, and the garden there seems to be flourishing despite the rain. And there's a scarecrow lashed to a cross. It's sodden from the deluge of rain that is coming down right now. So much so that the visibility is limited to maybe somewhere between 30 and 60 feet. But the scarecrow turns to look at you, and it opens a patchwork maw revealing rows of needles for teeth, and says, "Hey, friends." And it sort of shakes around a bit, and the tiny bells attached to its feet jingle. "I'm here to scare off the rats, but they don't seem to care about me."
You're a scare rat.
Care to help an old poor scarecrow down?
I'm not touching that thing.
What's your name?
Who are they asking?
Sorry?
What did they ask?
Ashtar's up the front.
Yeah, I look behind me, like, totally as if, like, you're talking to someone else. Because I'm just like, I'm out of this situation.
Oh, sorry. My name's Patches.
Hi, Patches.
I'm Duente.
Mm,
What exactly do you need help with?
Well, I'm stuck on this post.
Hmm.
yeah.
I would like to use Divine Sense.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, Patches. Oh, come on, Patches. There we go. No, Patches is not a fiend or any of those things that you would detect with your paladin sense.
Okay.
What would happen if we helped you down?
I would do a jig.
You would do what?
A jig.
Oh,
You
I
know?
want to see that. Riddle goes up and starts helping him down.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a stupid idea, but I'm
Okay,
curious.
okay.
So,
I want to
I'm gonna-
see him dance.
Okay.
Same.
So you
I'm
untie
gonna-
Patches and he gives you a big hug, Riddle.
Oh.
I check my pockets afterwards.
Okay. He says, well, oh, and he sort of stretches his back and stretches out, and then he does indeed do a bit of a tap dance. He says,
Riddle does a horrible parody next to him.
He says, free at last. Well, I'm off to seek my fortune. And he looks off to the left and right. And then puts his finger on his mouth, like wondering where to go. He says, are you coming here to tend the garden or the husband? And he looks down.
Wait, 10?
What has
10?
happened to the garden?
Oh, the garden doesn't. It looks after itself generally. The Festie's a real green thumb.
What happened to the husband?
He met his demise, unfortunately.
And there's a grave nearby?
There are
This is
some
what you mean by
graves, but
tent.
there are some graves, but he sort of gestures at his own feet down at the soil nearby.
Right.
This is
They right under us?
the Duchess's first husband is here. It's unmarked.
Ah.
How many husbands has she had?
There were a lot, I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit. It was a bit.
yeah.
But I think she did tell us the name of the first one.
She did.
Mm.
Really, it was like George or
Yeah.
something. It was.
It was Gerald.
Gerald.
There were lots of English-sounding names.
Yes.
I think, from memory.
Patches, we're actually on our way to a inn. Perhaps you've seen someone passing by this way on their way to it. Like the young mistress? Did she come out this way recently?
Yeah, can you roll
Right.
a charisma for me? Persuasion. Persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yep.
You got this.
How'd you go?
17.
You good?
There was one that I heard her speak of as she came past on the way out. Cicero's, I think it was called.
Indeed.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's just where we were heading.
It's across the lake, I think. And Let's see, Duenti and Ashtar.
Yeah.
One thing strikes you now that you're outdoors, that this city has no lake.
Yeah, okay. That's not unusual at all. Is there like a large courtyard or something though, maybe, or somewhere where perhaps it gets flooded?
Lake is lake a metaphor here, or do you mean literally? I'm asking Patches.
Yes,
You can see the ground.
All right.
The rain is absolutely bucketing down right now, and the water is forming rivulets and running off. And looking down at the cobblestones on the street, just over the fence where Patches is, you can see the water is running. And she says, "Follow the rain." And you can see just like the drains are all heading in that direction. Another thing looking down that you see that you didn't notice before is catching the light, catching the shadow. It's quite dark. You can see. Remember, there was a letter that you saw floating down the stones.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, now there seems to be a constant stream of them. It's more like when there's a prompt for newsreaders and it just scrolls through. Well, there's this flow of these rune type things.
Can I grab one of the letters?
You go to grab it, and while the one that you saw last time looked like it was like an oil slick floating over the top of the stones, these ones seem to be under the stone, more like you're looking through ice, through a frozen river, and you can see some sort of thing moving through it. But even though the stones are solid, you can see this very faint outline of runic shapes floating past in the same direction as the water that goes.
Does the rain, when it falls on things, seem like things are getting wet from it, or almost like it's just kind of on the surface? You know what I mean? Like if it's sort of piling off things, is it like almost things are repelling the water, or like it's not quite real?
No, the water is completely soaking Patches, and it's also soaking all of you at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's soaking into the ground. It's muddy out here.
Yeah. Is there any smell that's a bit different, or is it just kind of smell like dirty city?
Yeah, just dirty city. Yeah. And Patches points over and says, "The real the husband yard is over that way, a bit further along."
Interesting.
Sir Petrus is taking a few minutes to look at these unusual letters flowing along in the gutters. Is there a pattern? Is there a way to discern a message hidden within the flow of letters?
Okay, it's the letters are no script that you know. It's not like it's piecing together A's and B's and C's that are floating past. And they're not runes from any other alphabet, Dwarven, Elvish, Draconic, whatever. It's not infernal. They're more like symbols or glyphs. And you reckon it might take a little bit longer to try and, spend a bit of time trying to piece this together. Like not just a few moments, but, maybe 10 minutes, maybe an hour, something like that.
I see. All right. But there's another garden of husbands that we need to...
Yeah. Yeah, he says if you wanted to go and pay your respects, then... And he points in that direction.
Yeah. The letters...
Do we know which... Oh, sorry, you go.
The letters. The first one, I remember you said it looked like a kind of a Victorian script. Like a really fancy.
Yes.
Are these... do they look like they're the same font?
No, they don't. They look like they're all different fonts.
But it's like print, not handwritten.
Yeah, that's right. Like print.
Okay.
Or in D&D terms, something that's been scribed or chiselled out of rock. perfectly hand
I'll let-
painted.
Well, then let's go desecrate a graveyard. And I march off
Okay.
to where Patch is pointed.
Yeah, we wouldn't. I was just wondering if we knew which husband, perhaps,
Mhm.
that Celia was the niece of. If that makes sense. Depending, I guess, on which. It could have been her mother's side rather than.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's too
Okay.
complicated. Don't worry.
Well, you go along the back path down the side of the house, and hidden away around the back, there's a set of tombstones all set in a line. You start off ones maybe 200 years old, and they make their way through time. If you look at the times, I think the fourth one is very short, only a matter of months. And the most recent says Barnabas, devoted husband, loving father, quiet corpse.
The best kind.
Yeah, and you can see a
Looking
few.
over at Cole.
Yeah, so all of the names of these headstones are male. There's piles of rubble indicating where the graves used to lie, even though it's fairly eroded by rain. And it also looks like the nearest one looks like it's had flowers placed on it, plucked from the garden around the other side. It's
Barnabas?
Yeah, Barnabas.
Weeks recent or like
Yeah,
very recent?
no, just weeks. So the flowers would be difficult to identify because they're so rotten. It'd take a nature or something, like someone with those sorts of skills to try and figure that out.
I actually have proficiency in nature, so riddle might come up out of curiosity and
Okay. Do you want to
have a little look.
do a nature roll for me if you investigate these?
18.
Oof, okay. You determine that it's Rosemary.
It's an interesting choice to put Rosemary on a grave.
Yes.
A plant. It's a plant. Question. So that's the freshest grave, the oldest one, except for the first husband. How old is it?
About 800 years.
800 years.
Yeah.
Wait, is the Duchess? Did the Duchess look human?
Yes.
And she did not ping my detect evil when I
No,
cast it in that
no,
room.
she didn't.
Hmm.
Out of curiosity, can we see any more of these glyphs in the moving water on the ground? Does it look like its source is any of these graves?
No, it doesn't look like it's coming from the graves. It looks like it's coming from the rain itself or from the stones of the city.
Okay.
And Sir Petrus, or indeed anyone here, does anyone have any idea of the significance of placing rosemary on a grave?
Petrus, you would know that rosemary has got a cleansing property, at least in
Right.
the old tales.
Okay. So it might be like a folk remedy to stop the dead rising or to keep...
Yeah.
Mm.
Keeping it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Keep evil spirits out.
And there was rosemary around a rosemary bush around the other side where the veggies were.
Oh, yeah.
Possible to transcribe the glyphs in the water? only hastily.
Yeah, let's have a look.
What the hell? Riddler's going to cast Comprehend Languages,
Okay.
which allows to understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that I hear and understand any written language I see.
Okay.
I've got to be touching the surface, but I'd assume I can put my hands in the water or
Okay. Can I get,
on the stone.
can I get is it Duenti that's doing the scribing?
Yeah.
Okay, so Duenti and Core, can I get you both to roll wisdom saving throws?
Oh, that's never good.
You're needing a 10?
I got a 6.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay, so Core, you're okay. But who was that? That was Duenti, and where are we? We are...
Yep.
Okay, could you roll a D4 for me?
Ew.
Okay. Duenti, I'm just going to move us into the... actually, in the meantime, who was doing the read magic? Comprehend languages, wasn't it? That was
I was
reader.
doing Comprehend Languages. If it's a language, I should understand it, but if it's a secret message or an arcane glyph, not necessarily. I won't.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so you do your comprehend languages. Can you roll a D4 for me as well? Oh God. Okay.
Both the same.
Okay,
I'm
Duenti.
afraid now.
Duenti, I'm just going to move you into the cone of silence with me for a moment. And Duenti, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's happened is your mind is sort of broken a little bit. And it's like you've got Tourette's and you feel like saying the most... You know, sometimes people, when they're feeling really stressed, they just lash out. And even though it might not be fair, you would lash out and say something that's the most hurtful thing that you can to the people around you.
That is a toughie.
Yeah. I don't know what it might... You know, you could tackle, I don't know, something about looks or capability or whatnot. And I'm just going to... I'll don't do anything yet. I'll move you back and I'll just talk to Riddle for a moment. Riddle? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello.
Yep.
So what's happened is by casting this spell, two things has happened. What is that your mind is sort of broken. And you've got a minor madness. You know, some people might, in moments of really high stress, lash out at those around them, even though it might not be fair. So a little thing, they would turn into a big thing.
Yep.
And so, you know, like you end up saying something that's really hurtful to someone else, even though they might not deserve it, or they might have only a little bit and it's not quite fair, or maybe it was you, not them.
Yep.
Okay? I'm just going
Not a
to
problem.
move us all back.
Grand scheme is to find several hundred-year-old niece of at least 800-year-old woman, human, who's not undead.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all back. Duenti's busily scribing these things. Riddle's casting a spell and looking at them. Riddle, you sort of look up and look at everyone and with a moment's sort of glazed look in your eye. What do you say?
Are you all just going to stand around and do nothing while Duenty and I do all the work, or...?
Pretty much. It's my plan, but I mean,
I'm not sure
you
what
point
we're...
me in a direction of something to hit, and sure, but you know, you're the thinky kinds, right?
Duenti?
Yes.
Or Riddle? Chime in.
Riddle's just going to kind of sneer at them and just try and find some shade. It's a little bit of cover from this rain. It's starting to annoy her.
Okay.
You drip into her fur and down her ears, and her ears have got, like, pinned to her head.
What about you, Duenti?
Dogs. Oh.
Everyone's looking at you expectantly, waiting for answers.
Really hard to come up with an insult.
We don't have to. What you can just do is paraphrase and say, along the lines of, I don't know, Duenti sort of barks, antagonistically and sort of snaps at you.
Yeah. I think it's just sort of, yeah. My brain isn't working right now.
That's fine.
Let's just go with.
I will say,
he just sort of snaps.
Riddle sees Duente taking a moment to just take it all in and goes, "Remember to speak slow, otherwise they won't get it."
Get what? What? I look between them, just actually genuinely confused.
Yeah.
Ashtar isn't very bright, and she's not even taking offense. She's just genuinely confused about what's going on with these two.
Core, you would notice something different in these two.
I do, and in fact I am already removing some diamond dust from my pouch.
Okay.
And I will cast a greater restoration, hurriedly touching whoever is closest.
That would be Duenti.
Duenti? Yes, I'll cast greater restoration.
Okay. You cast greater restoration on Duenti, and his sort of glazed look on his eyes comes back. And Duenti, you just felt like you hated everyone for a moment there.
I will do similarly for Riddle if I can get close to her and touch her.
Okay.
That'll be hissing and
every time you walk up, she just kind of takes a side step and hisses at you.
Yeah, and the
bares her teeth, ears back.
Hair goes straight up. But yes, you can. You also realise, Riddle, after the spell goes off. So cross off the two components, Core.
Yep.
But Riddle, you just hated everyone for a moment there. You weren't sure how long it was going to last. That everyone was grating on your nerves.
Her expression goes from pissed at everyone to genuinely embarrassed.
Okay.
These symbols
sorry.
are cursed. Be careful.
You also both feel like you can see it marked on your token there. That you know how if someone is really on edge, and they lose it, and that they've been pushed so far, but someone helps them to overcome their losing it. They soothe them, they calm them down. In this case, with a greater restoration. So you've lost that temporary insanity, I guess, or insanity that you just had. But your feeling of being on edge hasn't changed. You feel like you're now, both of you are on edge, on the edge.
Okay. Big kitten eyes. I'm
Okay.
sorry, guys. It's the rain's grating on me.
Okay.
Duenti just sort of realized that and just sort of Silently continues to scroll away.
Nonsense, Riddle. That was not the rain. It is the symbols. And Duenti, I fear you might expose yourself again to the curse if you continue.
Haven't figured it out yet.
Very well.
Okay.
So you guys are cool with me now? I like look at them with, like uncertain eyes.
Surprised you know what
Right.
cool means as an adjective.
Hey, hey, hey!
I'm
I
joking.
know what frigid means. She's like trying to desperately think of a synonym, and she's like, "What?"
Find frigid from a refrigerator, or is that something else? And
Okay. With your
Like their body language shifted back to normal, right? So I'm
yeah,
sort of
it
just-
definitely has. You're okay at reading people's body language, but maybe not.
yeah, Duenty's sort of just joking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Letters or not, the rain is getting on my nerves. We should move.
With the amount of rain we've had, Riddle's fur would be just slick against her right now.
Okay, Riddle. Between you and Duenti, can you roll a d20 for the two of you?
Oh, great.
With it, or Duenti, I'll get you to roll one as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Nat 1.
Nat one. Okay.
Roll two.
You get a feeling from your reading of these runes that you don't know if you're reading it right, but if you whistle at night, you will attract snakes.
What?
Yeah.
Is that just Riddle or me as well?
That was Riddle. You found the answer written in the stones. If you whistle at
Okay.
night, you will attract snakes. Duenti, what did you roll?
I haven't rolled yet.
Okay.
14.
You learn that there is a staircase. It's invisible. Not everyone can find it, but it can help you to get to hard to access places. Anywhere through Elysium. And Elysium is not a place that a place name that you recognise.
Ooh. So, what did you translate into?
It's really important, everyone. Try not to whistle, okay? Especially at night.
I
I'm
whistle.
not in the mood for snakes.
I whistle.
No, don't!
I am physically unable to.
Physically unable to.
Well, I found some special access to places. Invisible stairs. Look out for that. But, though the name is unfamiliar, Elysium.
I'll just jump into the Cone of Silence again. 1 sec. Okay, Core, can you hear me? Oh, you're on mute. Rusty?
Yep, sorry, I was struggling to find my chat.
Oh, that's okay.
It's hidden behind several screens.
Right. When they say Elysium, that's like a no shit, Sherlock, to you. That's where you
Yep.
live. And so this is where the penny might be dropping that these people are not actually from Elysium. And you've all been walking around assuming that you're all from the same place and now realising that you're not.
So Elysium is in one of the heavenly planes of the
Well-
inner.
It's named after it, but it's this city.
Okay, all right.
the name of the city that you're in. And I don't know, I'm happy to take your view. Have you only recently come woken up, or have you been searching through Elysium trying to figure out what's going on for some time?
I think it would be a relatively short period of time that I've sort of regained some awareness of myself.
Okay.
So yeah, there's not a lot of memory.
Okay, so I will assume that you've been going through the streets, house to house, or asking people. You haven't made your way to Cicero's or any of these sort of named locations, but you would know that it's just been raining constantly. But not as bad as it is now. Something has changed recently. And yeah, there is a lake in the middle of the city, and all this water seems to run from the edges of the city in towards the centre.
Okay.
And downwards.
All right.
Okay, I'll move us back.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, everyone, we are back. Yeah, so sorry, Quill, I think it was you that was saying Elysium.
Yeah.
And it's not and said that's not a place that you've ever heard of, and we was asking if anyone's ever heard of Elysium.
Yeah.
Sir Petrus is surprised at the blank faces that all of you seem to have, and says, friends, this is Elysium.
What is?
Okay.
This courtyard? This house?
This city, this place. The name of this town is Elysium. Do you not know it?
No. Do you?
Yes, of course.
Quick question. I
Water
thought we were in
shower?
like Neverwinter or something.
You are in Neverwinter.
Okay.
Different names for it by different people?
This is not Neverwinter.
Do you remember how we got here?
Yeah, you were going through back streets through a sort of slum quarter of a dock ward by the city, by the sea. Now that you come to think of it, you can't smell salt air.
The sea is
Oh.
not near here. You have not come here by boat.
Is it the there was something about the direction being wrong when we looked out windows, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did you get here, Cor? Sir Petrus, I mean?
I have been here since my reawakening.
Uh-huh. You don't know how you got here.
I do not, but I've been here for some time. I know some of the streets and buildings hereabouts.
Oh,
Interesting. And
that certainly muddles something.
the place
Like it's-
we came from is not the place we are now. Interesting. And are you familiar with a lake?
There is a lake in the center of the city. The scarecrow was correct. We follow the gutters, we follow the water. It will lead us to the lake.
Would I know anything about stuff like this happening?
Who's that? Quill?
Yeah, would I know anything about essentially being transported to different places, or
Does he seem like he's making this up?
Yeah. So everyone is seeming genuine and a little bit confused. First, you
Okay.
think that you're talking about the same place and using different words, but then it's all sort of dawning on you when you see the smell no salt air and look up and down the street, and it does look a little bit different. It's the same sort of age, same sort of cobblestones. Remember, it's bucketing down rain, so you can only see 30 to 60 feet or so. but the buildings might look much the same and you wouldn't really notice that they're any different. But generally you were going on flat ground as you came here, and there's a bit of a slope to the ground now.
Okay.
I think the answers will be at Cicero's across the lake.
Your experience here, Sir Petrus, is the ferry safe?
I have no knowledge of the ferry or the ferryman.
He just knows that there is a lake in the middle of the city, I guess. You know, those major landmarks.
Sure.
But it's really even hard to see the city skyline with such heavy rain.
Well, let's hope the tolls are that steep.
So to the tavern then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes,
have a
please, to the tavern.
drink.
A drink.
Okay, I'll just
Somewhere dry with
I'll
a fire.
just scoop everyone up.
Yes, please.
So this is classed as, slightly obscured. It's also classed as dim light. It's also very difficult to do any ability checks. So disadvantage while you're in this heavy rain. For even intelligence-based ones, it's just distracting, and for physical ones, it's just physically difficult. But I'll move you to a bit of a city street. I think that's everyone. Yep. I have a token for the party that you can all see, so we can use that as you move around. But yeah, so you see yourself, you move your way along through the city street. I'm just moving you as a group. Every now and then you go through past a building that's got a light coming out of the window, but they've got curtains drawn, so it's not well lit. There's a bit of eaves that you can dash from and to here and there and take a bit of shelter. You're going past one alleyway, and let's see. Move you down here. So you're just walking past an alleyway. And you come to a really bizarre sight. Let's have a look. With its tentacles stretched across like a clothesline, across from one building to another. There's two huge tentacles, maybe going 20 feet wide, and this sort of sack hanging in the middle, and it's looking at you with two eyes, glistening in the rain. And you see that there's two others, one clinging to one wall, one clinging to another, an enormous octopus the size of a cow. And there's three of them.
Do not like it.
Can I discern like any intent?
Yeah, can you do a just a straight charisma?
Charisma.
Yep, your emotional intelligence.
Okay. 19.
Oh, nice one.
Why is my charisma +5? It should just be +3.
Matt, are you proficient?
I just rolled the bonus.
Did you press the saving throw by accident?
My saving throw is +8, so no.
Oh, no.
But either way, even 19 or 17, they don't seem aggressive at all. They're clutching the walls of the alley, hanging in plain sight, all of them just staring at you with their sort of strange hourglass type eyes. Very hard to read an octopus, but they're just patiently watching you go past.
So it's not like a direction which we need to take.
No, this is just down an alley as you're walking past.
Okay. So Rod will
Just
just
slide on by.
like a little tip of a hat.
Okay.
The octopodes.
Oh, I gotta show you this token I made. If I scoop.
Yeah, it's just an octopus.
Nice.
Duenti is stupidly curious and wants to check it out,
No.
but
I think everyone's all walking off Duenti. Are you gonna sort of
yeah.
give in?
No, Sir Petrus will pause. This is something that is clearly not the natural state of affairs of things.
Okay.
Are these octopus, are they trying to reach into the houses or to take people
They
from the houses?
appear to just be waiting patiently.
Duental, can you speak to these beasts?
No, but I can certainly walk by them, and I'm gonna rush into it. And I'm gonna.
Is it because he's a aquatic creature as well? I'm confused. Wait, you're going
Made
into
this-
them?
Walk by
Oh.
them. Yeah,
Okay.
go in and
I'm
see what
not
happens.
gonna leave him by himself, so I'm not gonna. Like,
Okay. They watch you walk under them, or the two of them are on either wall, but they seem like poised, like a little bit tensed, crouched, and the other one sort of, with its two longest tentacles, sort of suck it onto the two rooftops. Watches you and seems to just twist its body to watch you go past underneath it.
What's in the alley? Is that just an Is it a dead end?
Yeah, it's a dead end.
Oh. That was anticlimactic, and then I moved back to the
Okay.
group. Weird
Yeah.
tentacle people. That's about it.
Okay.
Tentacle things, anyways. Let's go.
Moving us to a new map.
Yeah.
Can I just ask if, while we're walking, if Riddle happens to see a big-ish branch that might act as some sort of crude umbrella, she tries to grab it.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna like climb up the tree and like be a lookout.
No trees.
Do you just want?
I
You just want to stay out of the rain.
Yeah. No trees. There might be a plank or something. Maybe a shutter from a window.
Yeah, I'll, if I can find a broken shutter, I'll just walk around holding that over my head.
Okay.
River, do you want to carry my shield if the rain affects you so?
Oh yeah, I've got a shield. Thanks for reminding me.
I just imagine you curling up like near his ankles while he holds the shield above you instead. Because you're not
And
gonna
that's
have to do
honestly
that.
what Riddle would be like too. Like, oh yeah, I have a shield. Thank you. Pulls it out, holds it over her head.
So you should see the swirl that is the party icon. And while I'm showing you the visibility in the rain with this yellow aura around your party, you can only see a few houses away. For the benefit of navigation, I've just expanded that a little bit so that you can see where you're going. And you follow the stream down and finally get down to the water's edge. The the lake seems to get deep instantly. It is absolutely black. The rain is pelting it, so it's got that sort of trembling lake. You can see it. You can't see across to the other side. Let's see.
No sign of a ferry or a place to call for a boat?
You do see a bit of a jetty poking out onto the river, and there is a boat. And it looks like there's a figure at the end of the jetty.
Do they look alive?
From this distance, you can't tell. They seem to be sitting on a box.
Wenty, I dare you to poke it.
You guys are sort of 60 feet away
I
at this stage.
absolutely will.
Poke him with a stick.
Okay,
I'll poke it with my candlestick.
You head down the jetty, down to the shore. Slick black rocks, quite large, and the wooden jetty you sort of walk along. It's quite rickety, but once upon a time was probably very solid. It's just a pier. And there's a tiny fishing boat lashed to the pier at the end with a fraying rope. And there's a sign saying Foulsham & Co. Ferries. And heading down towards the end, this old man looks up and he's got a sort of oilskin sheet covering him over. And he says, "Ah!" And you can see that he's got a shock of white hair and sort of ashy grey skin.
Hello.
And what are his eyes like?
What do you mean? Living?
Yeah, like, are they sort of, are they empty sockets?
No.
Eyes?
Just he looks like a ashy,
regular old
Oh
guy.
yeah, not even though he doesn't have the same sort of ashy
With
grey.
ashen skin.
Yeah, the ashy grey
Okay.
skin. No,
Cool.
he's got pupils.
Just
put it
getting a
that
bit
way.
nervous there. Okay.
But he says, wait a minute, I'm puzzling over something. And he's got this sack of grain, and there's this fox sitting, watching him. And
Where's the goose?
And a chicken.
Ah, okay.
And he says, I've got to get these all across the other side to the knackers. As soon as I take them in the boat, I'm sure they're going to fight each other. And I've been mulling it over. What do I do?
Is this a riddle?
It's a problem that I have. Good sir.
What are riddles but more complicated problems?
Does
This
he
is-
recognize the girl in the locket?
Gonna show him?
Oh, I don't have it, but I'll mention it to whoever I know. Maybe
It's
had
riddle.
it.
I'll show him, and as I do, I'm going to go ask, how long does it take for you to get across the river, good sir?
Oh. He looks up, says, usually 20, 30 minutes or so.
Okay. My suggestion won't work then.
Can we not just take the animals and the grain with us as you ferry us across?
Oh, they'll fight and cause a ruckus, so I would hate to tip over the side. He goes a bit
could-
wide-eyed at that.
The
I
chicken.
could carry one of them on my back and just swim across. Theoretically,
I
anyway.
don't think you should submerge yourself in that water.
I was thinking about
I've
making the
drunk
chicken
much
stay.
worse things.
Make the
Like
chicken
that.
levitate and just
If you
drag
do
it
that,
along with us.
that detect evil or whatever it was, you would find that this river or lake is
The
not.
chicken is secretly a mimic.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Uh,
everything's
Xerot will approach the man and take out, I don't know, let's say 10 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Say, can I buy the chicken?
You'll need some money, sir, not that yellow stuff.
Ah, I see. He will take out 10 platinum.
He looks at that and says, what good's that in here? Can't buy anything for that rubbish.
I'm confused.
Platinum.
What is the currency?
Currency?
What is the material that
Why, silver.
The payment.
Silver's all we use.
Ah,
I-
very well.
I-
And then he will take out 10 silver then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is why I was asking if anyone doesn't have any silver on them, because they haven't, broken up their money. I will
I
assume.
have.
Yeah, I know you have. I will assume that if you pat your pockets, you've got D10 silver coins in loose change, just as a matter of change from purchases over the last few days. So you might not have silver bullion on you, but you've got D10 silver pieces. It's no problem. You can all roll that D10. I think Sir Lottle's got a sack of it.
Yep.
Okay, so he takes the 10 and says, "Oh." He says, "Right, chicken's yours," and he hands it over to you.
Throttle immediately eats the chicken.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "Oh, I
It's
like
whole.
a man with appetite."
Problem solved.
Okay, he
It's like a comically chicken-shaped thing in your throat now.
yeah, it's halfway down him like a snake. No,
Yeah, you just like do this snake or lizard kind of gulp a few times until the whole thing just goes down the gullet.
yeah, like when you see a seagull eat a chip.
Yeah.
Lift your chin up a few times.
Riddle holds up her flask. Do you need some water to wash that down with?
I'm fine.
He stands up and pats you on the back and says, "I like this one." He says, "I'll take you across. I'll take 2 of you and then come back for 2 more and then 2 more. It'll take me 3 trips."
I can just swim. Again, Oh wait, actually, how large is the lake?
You can't see the other side.
Turn to the ferryman. How large is the lake?
He says, "Oh, a mile across, half a mile across."
I could lap that, probably. Are there any dangers, hazards in the lake at all?
He looks out and then says, "I know the ways to avoid them."
Avoid what, Sir Ferryman?
Dangers, eddies, rumours abound, he sort of says conspiratorially.
I think I could trust its rumors.
Velotl, are you able to sense anything evil or...
Okay, I'll use divine sense
The
again.
whole lake.
Yep, okay. You do divine sense.
You want me to put it in the chat?
Sorry?
Do you want me to put it in the chat again?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Can you roll a charisma saving throw?
Ah,
How'd you go?
15.
15.
Like 2
Okay.
plus 13.
Okay. Now that you're casting your mind around the place, opening yourself up to knowledge, you're finding that this is also assaulting your personality. You're always, if you do this, you're here at least, you're putting your mind at risk of knowing too much. It still happens, it still works, it still goes off, but it's not without risk. You manage to steel yourself, gird your loins, resolve, and with resolve still peer around, and you don't find anything radiating as fiendish or undead. Was it aberrations or aberrations?
Divine sense, I think, is very limited. It's just fiends, celestial, and undead.
Yeah, okay, so no fiends and no undead. Oh, the aberrations was the detect evil. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, you don't detect any of those things.
It's safe for now.
But you do feel like you've sort of opened up a floodgate to let a little bit of information into your head, and there's potential for that dam to burst. And if it does, the tidal wave of information would kill you, would destroy you.
Okay, yeah. So seems safe, but hard to focus.
Who will cross first?
I will cross first.
Everyone steps backwards and
Jump in
leaves
front line.
Ashtar to the front.
Might as well.
Okay, let's have a look.
Good
I'll
Yeah.
join Ashtar.
I'm just flipping this to Explorer mode, save, okay.
Out of curiosity, if Riddle was to go last, can she have a nap? It's in short rest.
Oh yeah, so you
More
can
for
try and find a
herself.
place to take a rest.
Again, Riddle goes this. I'll go last and curls up literally under her shield.
Okay. So Riddle tries to take a bit of a nap.
So will Sir Petrus. I will
Okay.
sit.
Can I use my what was it? Tales from Beyond and sort of get a spirit tale.
And what is that?
Basically, I roll on a table and gives me. It
okay.
gives me.
Yeah, go for
actually, I have to roll twice.
it. Ashtar, who's going with you? Who's the?
I am joining Ashtar.
That's Durenti. Okay.
So I get to choose the. Yeah.
A little while later, he turns up back for 2 more people. Is it
I
Cleon?
would like to go last. So would it be Cleon and Zolotl?
Okay.
Okay.
And Cleon and Solotl. I think you can all see this because of the party token, but all the 4 of you get across, and eventually he comes back and to pick up the last 2 of you, and the last 2 of you have had long enough to wait to grab yourselves a short rest.
Nandito kayong tatlo.
And there you are on the other side.
Neat.
Should we pay the ferryman? Now we're at the other side.
You did, it seems. Billy,
Oh,
is it?
I would have, like, probably paid when I got on the boat because I'm, not deceptively thinking that I'm going to be ripped off in any way.
You're
I'm
not
just
familiar with the popular song from the 80s.
Yeah. Is that Billy Joel?
Ashtar
No,
is not.
Billy Idol. I can't remember. That's 1 silver piece each.
Okay.
Ah, excellent. My entire budget of silver spent.
Okay.
If you need more silver, I will lend you some.
Okay.
Ah, thank you.
How many did you get, by the way? I didn't monitor the things.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, I see. Looking for these D10s. Must have been in the chat somewhere.
Mine.
I got a
I had mine
7.
prepared.
I got an 8 for my silver, so I'm down to 7 now.
Okay. Oh, and did you already have some Ashtar?
I already divided some silver out, before.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Cunning. So
And
you and
took out-
Solotl
took out some.
are wealthy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I took it out and took some out and put it in a chest that isn't on me. That's back in
Okay. Yeah.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Safe. room somewhere.
Not in this city.
No,
Okay.
apparently not.
No.
But, you know.
Okay, so you turn up, and this fellow, Falsham, he appreciates the help, Sir Lottle, and it seems like you've made yourself a friend here. He's got this fox in a cage, and he's going to drop that off at the Neckers. And he says, I might come for an ale myself. And he troops up the hill with you. And let's see. You go up the there's your party, and you head up, and he's able to actually point it out to you, and eventually you find yourselves outside of a bar. You can hear a bit of chitter chatter going on inside. Just grab everyone, and we'll move in.
So
Is there a sign outside the bar, outside the tavern?
Yeah, Cicero's bar.
Riddle walks straight in, looks for a fireplace, and heads straight for it.
Okay.
Is there any spider motif on the sign or anything?
No, it's got a human face with a very large moustache.
Okay.
Here we go. There's a flickering lamp, and as you head inside, there's a stocky man with sort of yellowy skin, and he's wiping down a dirty glass with a dirty rag. It's pretty much empty. Empty tables fill this shadowy tap room. And as you walk in, a mouse scurries across the floor, stalked by a tabby cat with long whiskers. He looks up at you and goes, welcome, strangers. And then he looks at you, and a couple of old-timers look up at you as well. There's a few tables of old-timers around, or locals, Elysians.
Do they all look, is there any that aren't old? Or are they all sort of...
They all look old at the start, but they all look old initially, but just the lines are all... their faces are all lined with weary and unsmiling.
Do they also have kind of like an ashen skin like the ferryman?
No. In fact, now that you get him in light, you can see he's actually got pointed ears.
Okay. And they're not all... obviously pointed ears is not necessarily human, but are there any races that I can identify?
No,
easily?
the rest of them in here look like round ears, look like humans.
Okay.
He says, looks up...
But they don't look surprised to see us, right? Sorry.
No.
We don't seem...
No.
Despite us being a range of races and stuff, it's
No,
not
they look at you surprised to see the door open. But he looks up at you and says, more strangers.
Oh.
And he says, welcome, come. We welcome customers. And he gestures at the bar.
Is there a chair with a stool or a table with a view from the window?
With a view of the window, looking out?
Like out the window, yeah.
Yeah, you want to be on lookout? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye out on the landscape. I'm a bit concerned about this shifting idea that we go into a building and come out somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
It's unnerved me, so
Okay.
I'm not very people oriented, so I'll let other people talk. I'll just keep an eye out on things.
All right. Well, he says, So what'll it be?
First, your name, please.
Oh, I'm Cicero, owner of this fine establishment.
Cicero, you may call me Sir Petrus. These are my
Petrus.
companions.
Okay. And he'll sort of...
You mentioned more strangers. Who came before us?
Oh, it's not uncommon for me to find people slumped over my tables. I don't know what it is or how they get here, but this city seems to hoover them up. And one of the old timers says, "Yeah, the unlucky lost," and they sort of nudge each other.
And these folk here, these are the unlucky lost, these old men over their cups?
Oh, no, they're Elysians. But they pay their way. He says, "So what, Sir Petrus?" He says, and one of the old timers chirps up. Let's see. And he says, "Sir Cor Petrus is curious and asks killing questions." And the other two say, "Sir Cor Petrus is curious."
I recognise these two.
No, you don't.
I'll inspect them closely from where I stand.
Okay, do a insight. Or you can do, insight's probably inspecting a person.
Not so good. 12.
They look like peasantry,
Right.
local workers. And then Falsham chirps up and says, "May I introduce to you all Sir Lottle." Sir Lottle is broke and tries to buy things with yellow money. And they all go, "Ha ha ha." So Sir Petrus is curious and Sir Lottle is broke. Well, he's not really broke, he does have silver, but he tried to pay me with gold.
Piroto will embarrassingly lick his left eyeball.
Okay. And one of the old timers says, "Oh, and what's your name, madam?" Talking to you, Riddle.
I am Riddle and I'm very wet right now, but I'll take a glass of warm milk.
Ah,
And she's literally laid out on the rug in front of the fire.
okay.
All starfish just trying to get dry and warm.
Okay.
Just like the picture in Discord.
Riddle, and they think to themselves, Riddle is wet and dressed for a jungle safari in a dreary city. And they seem to be having a great time of coming up with descriptors.
Riddle puts one hand up in the air with thumb up. Awesome!
Let's see. And Cicero looks to you and says, "This is the name game, you know."
Okay.
It's a common pastime in Elysium. It's how we remember these groups that come through. Do you remember the Woodshed family?
No.
Well, and one of the old timers rattles it off. It says, "Well, that's how we remember who's in whose family and what their names are. You've got to have something about them to remind you that's to do with them, and that's what we're doing with you."
Do you recall the wild-haired woman with the young girl?
The young girl, Elise, she saw something nasty in the woodshed. She's scared. And they all say in unison, "There's something nasty in the woodshed."
Sweet. What is this? Doing is a different
Mm.
girl.
Oh, not Elise?
No,
Who are you
the one
chasing?
that lived in the crooked house.
Yeah.
Ah, Cecilia. She's, yeah, and they all, yeah, Cecilia. She comes by from time to time. Lovely young lass. Very punctual.
That's a strange attribute to remember.
Cecilia is punctual.
What are her appointments?
Well, I don't know. This is just the name game. You'd have to. I don't know who made up her name game. But she was headed to an old wreck of a building to ask an important question. This is Cicero now. He's polishing his glass. We haven't seen her in a few weeks. I remember. They were talking, her and the old woman. She wanted to ask an important question of a creature, a spider.
Dancing spider?
Sorry?
Dancing spider?
Dancing?
I just sort of.
No, they didn't. No. They're just she was going to find a spider to ask it a question.
Perhaps it was a swimming spider.
Could be, perhaps.
Where was this old wreck?
Well, if you're trying to find her, you should head on to the Crooked House. They'll know more there.
That's where we came from.
Ah.
What of the
What
old
was the
woman with her?
Yeah.
No, she had wild hair and had a mask at some point when she came in.
Does your name game have a name for her?
Yeah, Rosa the wild head of the printing press. That's it.
Those are the wild hairs of the printing press.
Yes, Rosa. Rosa runs the printing press, the local newspaper.
It's an obvious name for a newspaper.
Oh no, the name of the newspaper is. She operates the printing press. Here we go. In he fishes out a short leaflet. They only just do short pamphlets, and it says "Changing Faces." And shows you one of the Changing Faces news pamphlets.
Changing Faces is the name of the leaflet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rosa runs Changing Faces Press.
And where is the press?
You have a look at it. And there's an advertisement that says free augmentations, alterations and additions. Contact Dr. Zakari.
Dr. Zakari.
So there's a locality somewhere, Dr. Zakari's lab.
Would Rosa also print books?
I don't know. The press is. This is what we know of the press, but she's a gatherer of information for sure.
Is the lettering on the leaflet look familiar, like the font?
No, it's not the font on the street. If that's what you mean.
Okay.
And there's an obituary. Master Patrick Stein, 53, eaten by his own pet dogs.
Dogs can't trust them.
How large were those dogs?
I don't know. We'd have to... the headline says, immigrant crisis to blame for shadow deaths. I'll put that in the chat for you. And there's a section in the very back corner where people, it's like the, you know the Facebook free section where people are giving stuff away. And this one says there's two things. A bookmark made of tanned humanoid leather, free for anyone who needs one. Someone else is giving away, it just says, a badger in a box. It's not magical, it's just an asshole.
I want it.
Might make a good hat.
All this I'm putting in the chat for you.
Alright.
Also, sir, I'm assuming someone's reading out these because Riddle's just laying on the floor.
Yep. There is a
I
fire.
assumed so as
This is awesome being in here because outside it's just a nightmare trying to move around, not slip over on the rocks, even on the cobblestones.
Horrible on the fur.
Yeah.
Riddle pipes up. What immigrants are causing? Does it? The headlines talk about their friends.
They all look up, say, "Whoa."
You mean us?
Well, I guess not necessarily you. Newcomers.
Have there been many lately?
Well, this place tends to send you round the bend, so to speak. You know.
Let me rephrase that. Have there been more than usual?
Oh no, it's constant. People don't go out after dark. Parents don't let their kids go out. But they don't say why. We can't say why. You know, the rule.
the rule. Of course.
And Cicero says, if you talk about it.
Yeah, I give a knowing nod.
Okay, he doesn't finish the rule.
Yeah, you don't finish it.
And one of the old timers says, nonsense. All the people who lose it around here, they get carted off to the asylum.
Asylum.
Yes, there's an asylum. That's where people go and get healed.
Do they come back?
That
from
healed
being
with
healed?
quotation marks or real healing?
Yeah.
Someone says, well, no, nonsense. For every one person that gets carted off to the asylum, 3 just go missing and are never seen again. And
In the asylum.
no, just, who knows, snatched off the street.
Hey.
Where is the asylum?
And they say, off to the northwest of the city.
Where is the printing press?
And they can give you directions to that as well. When we move back to the main map, I can mark those on there. And he says,
Right.
but some of these places only really show them. It's difficult. The streets move around, and you can find yourself walking in circles.
How do we
Where was
avoid
the-
this? Sorry to speak over you.
No, I was also just gonna ask, where was the old wreck that Celia went to?
Oh, she would have gone to the broken prison. That's where she was heading to, I believe, to talk to this spider. If you're chasing her, I'd head out to the prison, but no one goes there. Well,
Well, someone went there.
it's not being used as a prison. It's all collapsed,
What's the name?
much like the castle on the hill.
Why is everything here so ominous?
Yeah, speaking of ominous, what are the shadows? Deaths.
But that's the way we describe people who die in the shadows. You don't know how.
So it's not linked to the octopus we saw in the alleyway on our way
Yeah, I
here?
was gonna
What are
say.
you talking about?
Talk about that.
That's nonsense. What have you been on? Have you been reading the streets again?
So
Did you say reading the street?
Well,
Not
People
reading
who
in
look,
the street.
people who look at the ground too much. You got to look up to the stars.
Were
So
there
an-
stars? Just out of curiosity. Weren't they just clouds?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, behind the clouds, of course, the stars.
so octopus
really
sightings aren't common?
Cephalopods of various kinds.
that would explain the lack of. Well, no, not really. They weren't. They were patient. Let's say passive. More passive than anything else.
You can generally find your way around if you know your way around. It's not. It's just sometimes people tend to get lost. I don't know. And one of the guys says, "No, the streets move. They redirect you. You get shifted." No, that's bullshit. He drank too much and staggered around in the rain all night.
Been there, my
It
friend.
sounds like they're talking about a particular individual who came in saying that the streets made them get lost. But yeah, so they mark on your map everything, the places that we've just mentioned. It's just gone 11 o'clock. I reckon we should have a coffee break.
Okay.
Should we?
Sounds good.
Yes, that
Okay,
would be
all
great.
right. I will.
How long will we be?
10 minutes? Is that enough?
Okay. Yep, sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah, I can need to charge my stuff.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm a little spooked.
Okay.
I say, what's the delegation of joy? Does he flinch? Oh,
Oh, they spout nonsense. They go around preaching the end of the world.
do they preach, bringing about or hastening this event,
I don't think so.
as well as
I think they're
they're
harmless.
just the world's falling apart and they're
Easy-
just happy about it?
Easy to ignore. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. They look pretty creepy to me.
Some people are just like that.
Okay. I'll leave it there.
Some people just want to watch the world drown.
True.
That's not the saying.
It is here.
In this place, yeah. I get the feeling that a lot of people drown in this lake.
Yeah.
Or
It is very hard
disappear.
to make fire in a place that it rains a lot.
Mm.
Cool. So this printing press place is, say, what, like half an hour walk?
Oh, less. 10 minutes.
Less?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should do it. I mean, it's right there, right, guys? I look at every like I'm ex-military. I'm looking to other people to give orders a lot. I'm just like, yeah.
Press would give us a lot of information for the prison. At least potentially, anyways. I don't know how privy Rosa is to anything that went on with her and Cecilia.
Well, Cecilia quite clearly liked books, so I'm wondering if that's where she got a lot of her reading material from.
Well, also, if nothing else, she would be able to clarify a little bit of what the spider refers to, right? Because, I mean, it
Yeah.
could be something else. Like, just because they have met at the Cicero's doesn't mean that that is what this letter fragment refers to. And she can help maybe give us a little bit of context for what is happening with Cecilia.
Yeah.
Or she might just, attack us upon entering. But, it's cool. It's not like that
Maybe
hasn't
when-
happened before.
No.
Yep.
So the
Wary.
so the party all head off towards the press.
Yep, I guess.
Okay. Ashtar, can you do a survival roll for me?
Uh-oh. What have I got through now?
Could I help with that?
Sure. You can give Ashtar advantage.
Ooh. I need it.
Let me know what you got.
18.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you managed to, you're trying to head in the right direction, basically, and you seem to be walking on a slight slope uphill. It's not really steep, but you round a corner, and you are faced with an enormous wall.
A wall.
A wall.
Interesting.
You're at the edge of town, and there's this. It's like one of those little, summer waterfalls, where the water just is like a sheen running down it, and you can see water water just running down the wall. It's got a very slight angle to it.
Yeah, okay. And there's no like doors into this wall or gates or
No, this is the edge of town.
Interesting. Can I touch the wall?
Yeah, it feels like it's made of stone.
Surreal.
And
This place is so surreal that I think I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
The borders, are they actually borders,
Yeah. So it feels like a solid castle wall to you. Looks like it's
And,
made
like,
of
old-
enormous blocks of stone. And
Sorry, how high up does the wall go again?
further than you can see in the rain. And looking up, you know, when you look straight up into rain, you see it coming towards you. And you can see turbulent storm clouds above, more so than in the centre of town.
Alright. I
blocking our way.
I turn around, turn back to the group at a loss. I'm like, some of you smarter folk maybe can like what?
Riddle's gonna walk up to the wall, put a hand on it,
Yep.
and then using her ascendant step, cast levitate,
Okay.
and just go straight up
Okay.
and for 100 feet or so, and see if she can find a top of the wall, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You get to the. Now let me see.
I'll throw you.
100 feet doesn't get to the top. Get you to the top of the wall.
Would
How
Bigby's
would-
hand?
Sorry.
So Riddle, you've
And
gone
I-
100. You've gone 100 feet up. You can still
Would've-
see the city below you, looking down, faintly. You can see the dark circle of the lake beneath you, off to one side, and the wall seems to curve left and right inwards.
And that's only taken me a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alright. I'll go another 100 feet. And if still can't see anything, go back down. Because I don't want to risk me running out of a levitation spell.
Yeah, okay.
That lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay. Let's see. The rain, the wind starts to pick up as you go higher and higher.
Yep. I'm kind of using my hands to stabilize myself against the wall as
Yeah.
I go up, if
Yep.
that makes sense.
So you'll go up another 100 feet, so you're 200 feet high.
Yep.
Yeah, and now you can no longer see the city beneath you,
Yeah.
and you can no longer see the top of the wall. You still can't see the top of the wall above you.
Okay. I'm gonna go back down and.
But now, no longer is it raining, but because the wall is a little bumpy, you know, it's still made of blocks with mortar, and they're, you know, rounded and so on. Water that
Yeah.
runs down also kicks out and splashes out. So it means the rain is thicker closer to the wall as you're getting splashed and kicked off from water that's running down it.
Ugh. Definitely going back down now.
Okay. So Riddle gets back down and reveals that the wall is at least 260 feet wall high.
Just keeps going.
I don't think
Gonna
that's the way we're
use-
meant to go.
Bigby's hand, but I don't think that'll work anymore.
Okay.
What's left or right? Is there any
Oh yeah.
other alleyways?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you're fairly confident that rather than trying to hit the painting press straight away, going exactly as it's marked, as you know, when you were given directions, your survival instincts kicked in, and you headed slightly to the right of that, so that you would hit the edge of town, knowing that you then needed to turn left to get to it. If you go straight at it and you're slightly off, you don't know whether to go left or right. Now you've intentionally missed so that you know which direction to go.
Yeah, cool. All right. I'll just keep working around looking for any signs or anything
Okay.
that might match. I don't know, the letterhead of the business, the newspaper.
Yep.
I can read, guys. I can read. I pull out the newspaper flyer and actually try to match it though.
Let's have a look. here we go. You do end up finding yourself at a warehouse in Elysium's slums at the edge.
Yep.
And Changing Faces is printed on the wall on a sign.
With the logo, so
Yeah.
I can recognize it
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna pretend I read that.
It's
Look, guys.
The logo is a skeleton sitting on a chair.
Nice. So I'll lead everyone there, kind of
Okay.
checking over my shoulder that I'm being
Okay.
Yeah.
And
followed by our friend.
there's two big double doors open, like barn doors, and you can see skeletons coming and going. And they're carrying parcels in
Skeletons.
oilskin sort of pouches.
Oh. I kind of like pull up at that and just kind of look to the rest of the group for a little bit of like, do we just go in? Is it like a smash situation, or like kind of
How
indicate my
many
sword?
are there?
Oh, you
Yeah.
see two or three leave.
Knock.
Do they look like they're like the packages they have? Are they just like as if they're going out delivering? Like,
Yeah, bundles
sort
of
package-
bundles of paper, most likely, bound up in their satchels.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It's not. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
They just look busy.
Not. Yeah, yeah. It's not like there's a cart that they're loading up. Those
Yeah.
are going back and,
And
forward. It looks.
they're not moving
gone.
with any real thought. They're moving like a bad stop motion animation.
Okay. Yeah. Does this warehouse have windows?
No. Big
And just
double-
one door that we can see?
big double doors.
Just
and
one big barn door type.
one big barn door, and there is a side door that's sort of regular sized.
Okay. I'm gonna look toward our cat friend and be like, so Nikki is kind of your thing, right?
So Petrus draws forth his mace and strides directly towards the doors,
The double
puffing
doors.
himself up and appearing to be ready to call out a challenge to whoever's within.
Okay. You walk to the double.
Seeing that, I am immediately behind him with my sword too. I don't leave anyone to take a fight by
Okay.
themselves.
All right. So everyone's pretty much there with the Petrus, Ashtar close behind, and you see a large open area where there's maybe 100 or so skeletons all writing, and there's others that are making paper.
Is this a sweatshop for skeletons?
Looks like it. And
Oh
you
no, we're under attack from skeletons with pens.
There are some.
What's the size of the warehouse, the
Oh,
dimensions of it?
Probably about 80 to 100 feet square.
Okay.
And there's a few there that have got hats on and trench coats with their collars up. And they're doing the opposite. They're bringing, they're coming in and writing down things and passing it to the skeletons who are passing out this same information to be copied over and over and over again.
It's like kind of maybe look toward, I don't know how close the others are, but at least Core, because he's right next to me. Or I'm next to him. And just be like, is this what we expected? What?
Little shrugs. Never expect anything, and you're never disappointed.
Did
I
I miss
Here,
some-
A skeleton in a trench coat walks up to you.
Oh no.
And
Does he have like ink-stained hands?
no, but he's got a pen stuck under his hat, as if it was tucked behind an ear, but there's no ear there.
Okay.
Hello, good sir.
And his jaw
we're
is.
looking.
Yeah, go for it, Riddle. Sorry.
We're looking for Rosa. You look sharp, like a sharp young man who can show us the way.
He says, "Oh, I just work here. Rose is not in."
Is there anyone else in we can speak to?
Me?
Or are you in charge today?
Well, not in, I'm one of the correspondents.
What?
I'll put it in the chat.
The skeleton correspondent, right?
Yeah, yeah. Who gave you that name?
It's my title. When I got the job, I was elevated, lifted above all these dregs. And he gestures out to all the ones that are just scribing and printing.
That's a bit
Well then,
classist.
you must know all the gossip around here and all the important news.
Jobs for journalists are pretty hard to get for a skeleton.
Yeah, I can't imagine many people think you have the brains for it. I
There you
don't
go.
agree, however.
Do you have the brains for it?
Of course.
Whose brains?
And he says, "Here." And he passes you a piece of paper.
Okay.
And then he looks at you and gives a bit of a, "See?"
Yeah.
Do you see a handout?
What's on the paper?
Do you see a handout coming up?
Oh,
No.
I don't have it.
Ah,
No.
let me try again.
Why are we talking to this filthy things?
Abomination. Unclean, foul, undead.
Yes,
Let's not be racist against the skeletons.
they
um,
Leave
belong
the
to
dog
my-
chew toy alone.
What's your name? I asked the correspondent. Yeah.
Keith.
Keith?
Keith.
Oh,
How do you spell that?
He struggles. He tells you how to spell Keith, but he can't say it.
Doesn't have a tongue.
No, he doesn't have a tongue. He can't say the TH sound.
He. Okay.
How's it looking now? Can you see it?
Cool.
Yep.
Oh. Missing girl.
Where would we find Rosa?
Rosa?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. She's the owner here. She does what she likes.
Did she make any mention of anything for
Oh, I can't say that
yesterday?
she did. She wouldn't say. I wouldn't know that sort of stuff. Not my place. I go hunting for information, though. I could give you a scoop.
Raised you from the grave, undead filth.
The patches?
He
said it before, don't be racist against the undead.
Takes a bit of a sidestep. He says, "Okay."
Who raised you?
Oh, Rosa.
Where is your master?
Rosa is a powerful wizard.
A foul necromancer.
So Petrus, you're being a bit tense right now.
I wouldn't
Let's not.
go casting the foul word left and right willy nilly.
It is not. Do we have all the information we require from this one?
If I say yes, what will you do next?
Return it.
May I keep this?
No, we have not.
He says, "You keep this. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a scoop. Do you want to know tomorrow's headline?"
Sure, we're
I
not.
certainly do.
Confirmed. No shadow deaths or wriggling doom near the lake, says scientist.
The scientists are always right.
Which scientist?
All of them.
Ah,
All right, now there's a conspiracy. No side, no way in the nine hells does every scientist agree on something.
Whoa, hold on. All of the ones that disagree have not produced their own research that's been peer reviewed.
Okay.
So
And he-
Petrus walks into the middle of the bullpen where all the writers are doing their
I'm gonna
thing.
try and stop Petrus.
Okay.
Okay, so
Don't.
let's say he's got a couple of steps on you. What's your plan, Petrus?
Well, I'm going to raise my holy symbol of the Severer,
Okay,
and I'm going to blast these skeletons back to hell.
okay, Joe, turn undead.
Yep.
Well, but
Okay, so then
Can I please attempt to polymorph him into a dog?
can I cast
That's what he's-
dispel magic?
okay,
A dog.
so
Do you then run away from him because you're a cat?
you can get your dispel magic off, but unfortunately, this isn't magic, and every skeleton within I think 30 feet
Yep.
of Sir Petrus just crumbles to dust and the correspondent turns and says, "Whoa, well they'll be hard to replace."
I'll move to the next 30-foot circle. Actually, it'll be a 60-foot
Jack-
circle.
I'm definitely
Let's not
polymorphing
massacre
if
this
I think it's gonna
warehouse. I'm gonna try and stop him.
Okay, so Petrus, the others are trying to say, hey, what on, or casting spells or whatnot.
Xerath will protect Petrus.
Okay, all right. So for the benefit of party sanity, I'm going to assume that Sir Lottle at least manages to counter the others trying to interfere with Sir Petrus, and with 2 or 3 after the second channel divinity, I think it is.
Yes, I only have 2, so if there's any remaining after that and I'm still free to act, I'll
Yeah.
set about myself with a mace of disruption.
From the second one, every one of them runs in a different direction, and there's this mass panic. And let's say you smash some up or you don't. There'll be some that get that scurry off into the city, but you've probably destroyed 80 or so skeletons.
Wonderful.
I think there might be a cap to what you can destroy, a certain number of hit points or hit dice or something.
I think it's by CR.
Yeah, see, anything CR3 or less.
Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter how many of them there are. I think that's very old.
No.
That's second edition there. Right, so everything's CR3 or less. Yeah, so they
They're
all
like
do...
raise dead skeletons. I think they'll be destroyed.
Oh, yeah, well, some of them are sentient, but either way, there's Petrus is sort of walking through dust to get out the door.
I'm doing God's work.
Poor Rosemary's going to have to build her company back up. Bare bones to fair...
No, our
No.
poor Rosa will have nothing to do from the grave. She needs to be destroyed for her foul necromancy.
This is why I don't work with paladins.
We don't know that she was necessarily. I mean, maybe she's sort of duped into it somehow. Maybe it's
I
not.
mean, clearly, she's not doing anything wrong, aside from maybe making
Well-
sensationalist headlines. But I don't know that much yet.
Very existence is an abomination.
Do you
Says
think
who?
it's a little suspect that she has written in the newspaper about Cecilia being missing and the hunt for her, as written? I pull out the paper that this guy just gave me, and yet she was the one being seen with her. Does that not seem a little suspicious?
Yes.
Yes.
Missing girl. As the search continues for Cecilia, her mother refuses to give up hope, calling on all intrepid or mercenary souls to aid her in recovering her daughter. Don't look down. The clanging noise from under the street has been confirmed to be merely a plumbing issue. Local authorities suggest putting to rest spurious rumours of supernatural activity. Have you seen the movie Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
Reference. I haven't watched the movie though.
Yeah.
I fear that poor Cecilia has been, in her maybe youthful ignorance and enthusiasm to have new experience, has been caught up in something that is a little bit dubious and perhaps in danger from this Rose. I don't necessarily think Rose is her friend.
I understand if Rosa is gonna be not a good person. However, I don't think that justifies suddenly destroying an entire business.
Well,
Business.
I mean, did we destroy the business? She seems. I mean, the printing presses are still here, right?
Yeah, that's true, but still, I think how many were the ones that were sending it? They got killed.
Oh, hard to say. Handful?
The dead
Don't
belong
matter.
to the mud, to the worms. They should not be working.
I'll draw your attention to the other article that there's a retraction. Changing Faces seeks to uphold the highest standards of ethical journalism. As such, it's come to our attention that the stars are not, in fact, the eyes of a gigantic spider. We'd like to inform the citizens of Elysium that there's no need for panic and there is probably nothing wrong with the stars.
Yeah. Nice.
That's specific.
Yeah.
I like to wander around and kind of sift through the dust for any other pamphlets that might be
Yeah, just
standing out.
do an investigation for me.
We
Oops.
nope,
Okay.
Too much
not with a
dust.
4.
Yeah, there's a lot of debris.
I can't see past the oil skin.
Yeah.
Just bone dust and oilskin jackets.
Where to from here?
I vote we avoid Rosa for now. Got a feeling she's not going to like us at the moment.
I mean, the reason we came here was to hopefully get intel. I don't think we're managing that.
Yeah, no.
If she's not
I feel
here,
like we could have asked more. We only asked one person.
There were
Well,
no
we
persons
did.
there.
there are no people.
I like the funky skeleton printing press, and I'm sad that it's dead.
And you miss
It can rise
the
again.
site. Yes, it can rise again.
Yeah, that's true.
Rosa just needs to go and find another 100 or so. There is an ad for in there, I think. Help wanted. Situation vacant. Appreciation of bodily fluids and an open mind required. Contact Nurse Grace at the Adamant Asylum. Open mind and pliable cerebellum preferable, but candidates from all backgrounds are considered.
Hey, I might actually be qualified for this one.
Real may or may not have been thinking something similar.
And
Ideal candidate.
the last one there is also similar to a couple that you've seen that are trying to quash rumour. Don't worry about it. Have you recently had a missing family member return to you after an extended absence? Do they seem different? This could all just be post-trauma behaviour, says Dr. Brains of the Medical Disciplinary Board.
Sounds legit.
Sounds legit. Sounds definitely not dead.
Broken prison, anyone?
Yeah.
Or do you want to still investigate around here first? Is there actually, if in the
I
warehouse,
can't believe Doctor.
In the
is there like a main main office where, like, the editor's room or whatever, like where maybe
No, it
Rose would have.
looked like the editors or these correspondents were bringing their material to this main warehouse, passing it off to someone who was then giving it to a table full of skeletons.
Okay.
Was there a separate office where the necromancer conducted her foul business?
No personal
No, like personal
residence.
boss man desk.
No.
Just
I wonder,
just
are there
wondering if it's
unions?
like,
Seems like they do need to form a union, but not today.
They need to be union. Next
Anymore?
time, Rose rises. Words raises the dead. I'm gonna help them unionize.
I suspect there might be some union breakers. Ashtar.
Well, one.
So if there's no,
I could probably deal
no
with
hope
that.
of if there's no hope of like finding like like a writing desk that is Rose's personal office, then I think we're not necessarily going to find anything directly useful.
Yep.
Without going through absolutely every newspaper article, which probably will just be full of nonsense and give us clues, but not necessarily direct evidence of what we need to get Cecilia back.
We probably should have
So
asked the tavern keeper where Rosa lived instead of the printing press.
Look,
I mean,
you are all much more the talky people kind of people. I was look. That's your department.
I've been vacant in the head for the last few hours. I am not a talky
Right.
person.
I have been vacant in the head for the last. I don't know. Just trail out there.
Yep.
so broken prison.
You start making your way to the direction of the broken prison.
No, I mean, I
There's
would
no better
suggest
option. What
Unless
was you gonna
anyone's
say?
got it.
yeah, I think that's our best shot to get some clues. Question is, are we going through the lake or walking around?
And we use the shore of the lake as a landmark to hopefully keep us from wandering through the confusing streets.
Yeah, you can hug the shoreline pretty much and prevent getting lost amongst the backwoods sort of thing.
Maybe
Okay.
avoid some octopuses in the alleyways.
Yeah.
Love to meet more octopuses.
They're more scared of you than you are of them.
I don't know,
Also,
I
they're
get
just
pretty
fascinating.
scared.
Also, they must be pretty confused since the lake is supposedly sweetwater.
You head down to the lake, find the edge, and start. You can't just walk along the edge. It's not like there's a shore to walk along. Many of the town houses are built directly, Venice-like, into the lake. But you can pretty much skirt around those and reorientate yourself. After about 20 minutes of walking, you find that fog is starting to drape the streets, and it wisps of it, clutches at your feet and hands, almost like it's trying to grab onto you. It doesn't. It has no physical form. But it gets thicker and thicker and thicker until the whole area that you're walking through is heavily obscured. You would need to be within 5 feet of your neighbour to be able to see them. And it's very slow going at this point without accidentally getting split up.
Okay.
Hug the shoreline so we don't get lost, right?
Okay, yep.
Yeah, a question before we lost visibility. I think Sarah would like to assess whether the lake is a natural occurring thing or.
Yep, how's that?
Sorry.
How are you going to do that?
I know, just looking at the shoreline, if the buildings are built around it, or is it zipping
Okay.
in between buildings.
All right. Yeah. Do a nature check for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole 5.
5. You're not sure whether it's naturally forming, or magical, or some other way.
Okay.
How are you guys going to get around now that you can't really see? It's heavily obscured.
Riddle's gonna
We need
pull out
to-
a rope and let's everyone
That's
tie
what I was
ourselves
gonna say.
together.
Okay.
We need a rope in the buddy system.
Yep. All right. So everyone gets a rope, either wraps it around your wrist or around your waist, and so you're going along as if you're sort of mountaineering through a city. It slows you down to sort of about a third, maybe a quarter of your speed. And after about 10 minutes or so, you have to leave the shoreline to head in the direction that you think you need to go. And the fog lifts a little bit such that you can start to see. And there's still the drizzly rain coming through. And there's the eaves of a building nearby. I'm just going to move you guys over this way now. I don't need to have everybody here, but you know what I mean. Okay, so and you're in the at least in the vicinity of the broken prison. Let's have a look here.
Did the fog lift before we left the lake, or when we went into the sort of alleyway more?
As you started to head a little bit higher up.
Okay. So it wasn't like a timing thing; it was like a location thing.
It did seem to retreat from you, and it's almost as if some of these tendrils of fog decided to let go.
Okay.
And you can hear this clapping.
Clapping.
And kids' voices.
Oh no.
It sounds like singing. A bit muted
What
because
language?
of the rain. Common.
Okay. Is it like nursery rhymes that we recognise? Or?
Yeah, well, not quite. But they're singing. It's a similar timbre and tune that you might have heard before. And as you go closer to the sound and closer to where you think the prison is, you see 2 grimy little kids in rags playing a clapping game. And they're singing, and they're saying to each other, "Grobbly wobbly spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed Grobbly out. Out will come the sunshine and dry up all the rain, and Grobbly wobbly spider will climb up the spout again." I'll put the name they're referring to in the chat.
Thank you. Do they look human?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna pause for a minute and just listen to the kids singing.
Okay. And they're getting faster and faster. It looks like they're just repeating that over and over.
Just not creepily or anything, just kind of watching them play their game and listening to them sing. And
Okay. You're not sitting on a bench by the swings.
not offering them sweets, I promise.
You've got a cart that's like got blacked out windows.
Okay. Riddle, you are rewarded with a different song. Because they switch. And they start to sing, "I knocked 3 times and quickly down the spider came to me. 13 smiles, 13 faces, answers 1, 2, 3. And though I did not know it, I would not live to see the day the spider came again, the day he came for me." I'll put that whole thing in the chat.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
I knocked 3 times is where it starts. It's a bit wonky when you put stuff in chat. It spills over into the next. Okay.
Yeah.
and run down, broken, filled with rubble, an enormous... This prison must have filled city blocks. Must have used to stretch across a massive area. There's still the vestiges of a vast, thick, impenetrable walls, mostly crumbled. The vaults looking through seem to lie open. Maybe even the central chambers with no roof. It's hard to see through the thick rain how high any of the remaining structures might go. But some definitely go beyond the 60 feet up into the sky.
Is there any sign of life here?
You cannot see anything other than the kids about 50 yards or so back.
Are the children alive?
Yeah. The walls are made of crumbling stone, sort of varying in height from maybe 5 to 15 feet, but probably 10 to 20 feet thick. But the prison internally seems shrouded in an ever-present gloom, like a cloaking of dim light. And that's looking from a distance as you leave the two kids and start heading closer. And as you get a little bit closer, there's this rank smell of decay. Ahead of you, there's an array of ruined buildings, lies in dirt and rain. Like a pile of corpses, the mist seems to halt at the outer walls. It's held back. Even though the outer walls are shattered and broken in many places, as if the mist hesitates to even enter the prison itself. There is an archway remaining standing at the edge of the outer walls, and there's a dark orange plaque that you can see. You can't quite see what's written on it from this distance. You're still in the mist and the rain. But there's an orange plaque on the keystone. And I will move you to a map.
Ooh.
Where are we? Broken prison. Ho ho.
It is midnight. It might be a good time to wrap up.
We won't go beyond this point. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just say, as we walk in creepily, Riddle is singing the last song she heard them sing, and because of her actor feat, she sounds literally like one of the little kids. They can mimic the speech of another person or sounds made by the creatures I've heard for at least a minute.
Wendy's replicating the tune via their pipe, a haunting pipe.
Okay.
Just to creep everybody out.
Pipes of haunting.
Because I'm not already creeped out enough.
So you can see from the... I guess you can all see from the size of this map, we've got a bit of exploring to do. You guys do. And if I zoom in, I'll use Sir Lotto. Yeah, so there is your vision of the archway. Dark archway, dark orange script. And from this distance, you can see, but it's written in Druidic. I don't know if anyone speaks that.
I think only druids.
Or has any way to interpret it.
I mean, Riddle might.
I'll use a quick comprehend languages
Okay. Can you
spell.
roll?
And
You open the gates and let information magically flow in. Can you roll a intelligence saving throw?
oh god.
Uh,
Int saving throw?
Yes.
I mean, I didn't know if you were set up as on the map.
Oh my
but
god,
if
I
you're-
did well.
Okay.
17.
Okay. All right. You open it up, cast the spell, read the thing, and quickly shut the gate before your mind is blown. And you turn to everyone and it says, "We follow the pact, we walk the path. May the gods have mercy on us all. I will post that in the chat. And with that, let's fade out for tonight.
Okay. Just for future references, if you're gonna double with dark and mysterious things, you might want to stand close to Xerlotl to get a plus 4 to your saving throws.
Get in his aura and you might stave off insanity.
I might need help with that.
Yes. Okay, I'll cut.
Everyone's basically inching towards him.
Yeah.
Next time.
Huddles around.
Next time you go flinging, what's it called? Divination stuff, willy-nilly. All right, I'll pause it here and we can pick up in a fortnight.